All right, hey everybody. Sorry we're starting the stream 3 minutes late. Um, the dog decided it was a very convenient time to have a little bit that I had to clean up. Um, it's okay. We love her anyway because she's cute as fuck, and also she's had like a rough couple days. So you know, I'm giving her a lot of leeway. Is all I'm saying. Uh, she's fine. Um, I did some side stuff, and now we're just gonna jump right in to the Zero Dawn project facility because I know it locks us in for a little bit doing that. So we're gonna be locked and loaded into the main story. I am realizing that to finish this in time for the new game, I'm definitely going to have to up my streaming schedule. So be on the lookout for more pop-up streams to come next week. There is a non-zero chance I'm going to have to stream like every day next week to make this work. Trying to remember how to get over there. Anyway, so if you're wondering about Katie, what do you mean the dog's had a rough couple days? We care way more about Katie, or we care way more about the dog, because like obviously you do. Nova, who is big of heart but dumb of brain, was playing stick with her dad, and the stick landed in a snowbank, and she decided that that would not stop her, and she like jumped into the snowbank full tilt and like cut her mouth on the stick. Again, she's fine, but that happened like really late on Wednesday night, like past midnight. So she waited to go to the vet till yesterday morning, but then most of yesterday was spent like taking her to the vet, getting the vet to sedate her and look at her, make sure everything was okay, picking her up from the vet, you know, adjusting to feeding her wet food for a little bit instead of dry because her mouth is a little bit cut. Although the vet was like, we found no evidence of a cut, and I was like, she was bleeding like rather a lot, and Jason and I both saw it. So I know you're a veterinary professional, but like I promise there was like an inch long cut in her mouth. But yeah, basically the dog is so ridiculous that she will literally has and will run her paws raw and red and bloody and like peel off the skin on them if we don't watch her when we take her to the dog park. We have to limit her throw time because otherwise she will just destroy herself. But she gets like a bad paper cut in her mouth and she's like gone. Complete baby. Just absolutely gone. So that's been our last couple of days. It's been very exciting and not in like a fun way.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure, as year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And
maybe stop calling it the savage east, bruh.
All the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan.
See, and again, it pops up the little portrait of Elizabeth Sobeck. And then you can see, oh, there, it didn't show the text clearly, but it always says 99.47, I think.
Don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Sobeck here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do!
Yes.
Get me through this door!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
Ugh!
I love that it was like there was severe malfunction,
I underestimated you.
but then it didn't tell,
Now
like she had to keep interrogating it to fix itself, you know? That was a little meh.
Guess you can't have everything.
that will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one whisking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
So a lot of today's stream is going to be this place getting probably like a bunch of data points and, you know, information about what Project Zero Dawn was. At this point, what we know, and we being, you know, y'all that may or may not have played the game before. So, like, spoiler-free recap of what we know so far. There was...
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn.
A horrible...
We found it.
...man named Ted Farrow.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures.
Really, multiple
Attempting
failures.
repair.
Fascinating.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps.
Yeah.
Have a look around.
So what we know so far about Zero Dawn is that about 1,000 years ago, right? So like a minute. I love the little animations where she like cleans herself off and stuff. It makes her so much more like alive and non-static. But like 1,000 years ago, Ted Farrow, the worst person to ever live, made robots that self-replicated, consumed biomass as fuel, and that he lost control of. And then they started to eat the world. He called in the most brilliant woman, honestly the most brilliant person alive on Earth at the time, Elizabeth Sobek, who, it's not a secret to any astute viewer, Aloy is like presumably a clone of at this point because she has 99.47% of her DNA. Elizabeth Sobek came up with some plan called Zero Dawn that Ted deemed worse than the possibility of just letting the robots go out and destroy all life on Earth, which Elizabeth said would happen within like 9 months or something, like within the year there was going to be an apocalypse. And not just like a soft apocalypse like what we're going through in 2022, like a big, actual, real, all life will be destroyed apocalypse. And Ted was like, this solution is worse than the problem. And she was like, it's the only solution. And that's all we know about Zero Dawn so far. So this is a text point of another incident from lounge staff to admin. This morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as the staff who serve on the, quote, front line, quote, we're tired of being neglected. As we've already requested, we need human translators fluent in Polish, for example, security staff who can subdue arranged embryologists, for example, and dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well-behaved, but we need help handling the exceptions to that rule. Please respond. So Elizabeth had mentioned wanting candidates from all around the world, and Ted was like, I'll get you your dream team. So this apparently was a Polish embryologist. Why would they need one of those? Who can say? From reception staff to admin, we need support too. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing ZD candidates when they arrive at the facility. Many are frightened or confused. Some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At minimum, we need human translators, the Langbots are not sufficient, and mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any and all support would be welcome. Perhaps you could start by responding to one of these emails? So, clearly, the people that are coming here and being briefed are not happy with whatever they're being told. What could that be?
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
I would like beverages and snacks to be available to me. An even smaller room. A husband sneezing from another room. Scaring me a little. From lounge staff to admin, subject restock or else. For the 5th time, please restock the lounge's selection of herbal teas. If I have to listen to one more egghead throw a tantrum because we're out of the organic cucumber mint or blackberry sage varietals, I'm going to lose it. Please respond. And this time, no, quote, tempest in a teapot, quote, or steep demand jokes. Okay. Forgot the quote on the last one, but yeah, people are People continue to be annoying. Like, the actual apocalypse is happening, and people are like, but I want my teas, ooh. So obviously I know exactly what Zero Dawn is about, you know. I never claim this to be spoiler-free, but I'm trying to keep it spoiler-light, if that makes sense. Soundproofing from lounge staff to admin. Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between VR1 and the lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet during the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates waiting their turn in the lounge. Just a thought. So at this point, Aloy thinks that Elizabeth created a super weapon that was what allowed life on Earth to continue and what allowed overpowering of the robots.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Cutscene A.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret super weapons program.
What Aloy believes?
A technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard
the American suicide mission.
That I'm the one who spread
Enduring
them,
Victory.
and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a super weapons program.
What?
And it will not save us.
Oh no.
Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable.
Love that
no
for
matter
them.
how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more.
Yeah.
If we
Ted
had
Barrow is the
deactivation
worst.
codes,
Fuck
we could
Ted
shut them
Barrow
all
subreddit.
down. The
I
entire
remember.
swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option.
So they have
The
16
destruction
months
of the
at best.
biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating, waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day, the day that life on Earth ceases to exist, is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
So you can see why people were screaming and sobbing when they first heard this. And for me, the first time I played the game, this was a jaw-dropping moment, because there are little hints and foreshadowing that maybe Aloy is wrong, and it wasn't super weapons.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
I also love the name Elizabeth. Like, it's Elizabeth, but it's a little bit different because this does take place, you know, a little more in the future. I think Elizabeth, we found out in a data point, was born in like 2020 or something. I think I made a joke about it. She was born like days before our plague, the coronavirus, happened.
They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this
Right.
place? Tomb?
It is technically a kind of tomb, sort of. Oh, there's a lot of data points here, but we're gonna have to kill these people first. Because you couldn't just let me explore in peace. Like, we have to have, like, a whole combat thing. Which I get it. Like, some people might not be as into the lore and the world building and stuff as I am. And to be honest, I'm not into it in every game. This is one of the games where I'm like, I want every scrap. I want every fucking scrap that you will give me. Because I find it so cool and so fascinating. But yeah, the first time I played this game and I went through that cutscene, like, don't get me wrong, I was already sold on the game being dope as shit. But that was the moment I was like, what the fuck? Because I had been just accepting, right, that there was super weapons that stopped the robots. Alright, well, if I could shoot to save my goddamn life, helpful. Okay, well, so I have been actually shooting correctly, it's just he's a big boy. Can't take another.
We're too close to let tribal primitives stop us now. The data points,
Racist.
what do they contain?
Yeah, look, buddy, I'm getting there, alright? Is this gonna be like the actual way, or where does this go? Because I want to make sure that I get all those data points, obviously. Yeah, this feels too much like an actual path that I might have to take. So I'm going to go back and get all the data points and then explore the tunnel. That's, I think, the plan here. There was one up here that I don't want to forget about. Because, like, I just sort of fell off this ledge. But there was one up on this level. At least one. No, it just looks like the one. With this supply crate.
There is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things?
I know that there's already a lot to take in.
In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm, the pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible, but it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will
like,
all
I think
die?
Enduring Victory is an American name, but the whole world, I think, at this point, works together.
It doesn't make sense to me.
You were brought here because of your skill set.
No, that can't be right. I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
I think a lot of these are interviews,
accurate, yes.
but obviously we're
So
listening
these
to them.
mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people. They feed off them.
Not just people. All organic matter.
Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life reduced to bloody biofuel.
In
Correct.
a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor. Please.
Tell him Tom Pake wants a word. Now, get off! Get off! Doctor, please!
I mean, he started
You
destroying
get Pharaoh
shit.
in here!
Honestly, if faced with this information, this knowledge, I don't know if I would just sit down and start crying or if I would wreck absolutely everything in the room. It's really a toss-up, and I hope to never be in a position where I'd have to find out.
To discuss?
Whew. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, it was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
I mean, like, at this
Tobacco,
point,
cigarette.
let this man
Sorry,
talk.
darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malky was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty, too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place. You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go.
I mean, he took that incredibly well. Oh, I was on the wrong arrows. Whoops. I'm always doing that. I do wish that, I haven't spoiled that in the new game you can equip 6 weapons instead of 4, which I'm very grateful for. I wish you could choose what type of arrows you equip, because I never use harvest arrows. Now that I have hardpoint, I never use hunter arrows. You know what I mean? Like, it would be nice if I could customize that a little further.
You previously worked for Faro Automated Systems.
On the Chariot Line self-replication routines? I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
It's nice to see that someone who worked on the robots, you know what I mean, felt bad about it. Because honestly, Ted never seems to feel bad. He seems just more concerned with his own image and legacy. He doesn't seem to feel guilty.
With Suzanne
Which is
Alpert,
also why he's
environmental
terrible.
scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
What do you think she's
Nothing
thinking
degenerate
about,
said.
bruh?
Not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere
Sounds
and
like it.
hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
How do you think she came up with the name Zero Dawn anyway? It's catchy, and you don't realize how dark it is, right? Until you, like, realize how dark it is. Counselor Guidelines 1 for debriefing after Presentation 1. Candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It's important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for severe mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It's essential to stress that all other options for combating the Pharaoh Plague and preserving the continuation of human life have been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly, but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, Addendum B1, and unfeasibility of maintaining life in orbital, lunar, or undersea structures, Addenda C1, C2, C3, so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. If a candidate asks for time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to Presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus. Security and medical crisis teams are data corrupted. I appreciated that because, one, it shows what they're telling the counselors, which is like a cool, you know, slice of life, if you want to call it that. But it's also like...
Definitely awake now.
Okay. But it's also like, you know, they considered nuking the planet, right? They considered using their lunar colonies and their other colonies. I still wonder if there were people on the
Are
moon
you
when this
trying to
happened
thank
and
me
if
for
they
not
lived.
resisting?
We
I
don't get that
believe we
answer
couldn't
yet.
negotiate a diplomatic
Not in this
solution.
game.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it.
Yikes.
Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
Look at that
As
water
your
ripple, though.
General
That's very
Harris
nice,
said.
isn't it? Nice animation.
So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Nice detail.
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since 57? That went nowhere real slow. And you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be
Now I'm
clear,
thinking I
I'm
should
not
go
a
through that
worker on
tunnel.
the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage we're talking, a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
Yeah. He sounded like he was going deep into delusion territory. Oh my god, all this is an alternative way of sneaking around for the Kestrel fight, which obviously I didn't need or use that.
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system
That's where the
require?
machines come from.
At its core, it would need a true AI, fully
That's why they're
capable
like
of making
organic,
the
you
trillions
know,
of
look
decisions
like
necessary
animals.
to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature
I think she's
as an
so
AI.
beautiful. I love that they
But
made
that's
her a
just the
black
core
woman.
of the
She's
system.
so gorgeous.
She will
I
need
love
to be
Gaia.
surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn.
Embryonic
Construction
specialist.
of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the
Cauldrons.
start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully...
So I'm going to pause this for a second to look at all of the subordinate functions, right? Minerva, at this point, we don't know what that does. Hephaestus, cauldrons, right? That's where they come from. Ether, we don't know what that does at this point. Poseidon, we can guess, we don't know for sure. Demeter is what obviously reconstitutes the bio of this planet, like the flora. And that's probably where the metal flowers come from. Poseidon, obviously, I'm thinking that's like the water, you know what I mean, like the hydrosphere. Artemis, we're not sure at this point. Aletheia, we're not sure at this point. Apollo, we're not sure at this point, although we find out shortly. Peep the logo for Hades. And remember what logo is on all the Eclipse stuff. It's the power symbol. So what the fuck does Hades do is something that would be very normal to ask at this point. And it's like little details like that I think are very, very nice. And even if you look at the logos actually, right, I'm looking at them now and they're giving me more clues. Like Artemis is going to be reconstituting the fauna of the world, which makes sense, goddess of the hunt. Aletheia is going to be the embryonics, which is going to be what literally rebirth, you know, the human race. Anyway, I'll shut up.
The whole Earth destroyed.
Wait, what? That was not supposed to happen. I did not mean to fucking skip through that. Are you shitting me? Okay, so most of that... Oh, fuck. Alright. We're gonna fix this because I don't want to just not do that very important cutscene. Let's see if this reloads us like right before the cutscene. There should be a save from like when we enter the room, and then I apologize, we will just watch a little bit of it a second time. So not that one. So let's try this one. I do appreciate that the game has a lot of quick saves in addition to, of course, the regular saves. And I'm thinking this should still have all our data points. This is the last room we were in. Yeah, so we got all the data points. Still counts. We'll just rewatch part of her first little speech there. My apologize. I clearly clicked the wrong button. I will click nothing while this is happening. So we will rewatch some of it, but
You've heard the bad news.
There was enough of it that like I felt like it was important to not just... It could have been 2 sentences, whatever, I would have read it, but...
But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require?
Just a quick shout out to Ashley Birch here. She's doing the voice of both Aloy and Elizabeth, of course, which makes perfect sense.
To reconstitute the biosphere.
In my opinion, she does a really good job of making Elizabeth sound older, more confident, more assured of herself, whereas Aloy sounds younger and maybe a little more hesitant at times, but also a little snappier. Like, there's nuances to the performance that I think are really great.
Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all.
You can even see the Cauldron logo there for a second. The little 2 triangles nested. Very nice.
The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even
they have like over a year,
you'll know
basically.
How it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays.
That's what Minerva does.
Shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries.
Like these guys for terraforming
the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
Yeah, I think that was worth watching till the end.
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life, for us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are.
Dear viewers, what do you think happened to Apollo? Because I know what happened to Apollo. Obviously, I played this game twice. I keep saying that like, ooh, woo, look at me, I'm such a gamer girl, such flex. Sorry, I don't mean to be annoying. Make your selection. You're now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. 1. Participation. You will be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week, and your communications with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family for 2 persons of your choosing will be transferred to the Elysium sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. So basically they get the reward of, if they work on this, them and their immediate family, or if they don't have an immediate family, 2 people, can live out their lives. Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted contact with the outside world, not even monitored contact. Jesus. Death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh Plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanasia will be released for plague euthanasia. Or medical euthanasia. The information you've just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you're ready to make your choice, or if you have further questions. In my opinion, that's not much of a choice at all. I'm sure some people did opt for like the 2 non-participation alternatives, but I think they intentionally make it so that they're not really good alternatives. More counselor guidelines. It's vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly, without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counselor. Confirm for candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets and accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in the face of an overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection. validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses, and emphasize the value of candidates' expertise to the future, not just to humanity, but to terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, candidates may balk at the morality of extending their lifespans and those of loved ones beyond 0 day. Validate their hesitation, acknowledge that while the reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, redirect their ethical misgivings towards greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to review Dr. Sobek's presentation as many times as they wish and allow them access to supplement articles G01 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process this documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It is important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period, during which counselors will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent when the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against his or her will. Candidates, it's 2060, but we're still doing his or her. Let's upgrade to there, please. Candidates who elect indefinite detention must be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse their decision, after which the decision, data corrupted. But we know that that decision is unreversible at that point, so.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what I...
What are these couches made of that they're still here?
I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. A better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. It's just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom. I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be, atonement.
The stranded shackles that I just picked up are part of like a 3-item set that's like the Death Stranded video game. You can exchange them for like extra rewards in Meridian.
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist.
You were talking about Mom? Can you just... Rude.
I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here.
Ooh.
What are you don't... Get your hands off me!
If you're still nauseous.
No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timo. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized.
Yeah, that too.
A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry?
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
I mean, yeah. It's, you know, it's a tough pill to swallow. It's the apocalypse. Were I given the choice, were I an alpha candidate, which, let's be honest, I would not be. Look at me.
Intruder! Get her!
Oh, shit.
Whatever you do, don't die now.
Gee, thanks, Silence. I'm wondering if I try the precision arrows, is that going to be a bigger, heavier hit? Well, it definitely looks like it hit him a little harder. That one hit him a lot harder, actually. The key is, though, you do have to, like, aim and not miss.
I did not make it. That hurt.
Also, Silence, such a dick. Just don't die now, because I need my answers, damn it. But yeah, in that situation, if I were an alpha candidate, I mean, they've made it such that I would participate, because at least then I would be able to, like, take my husband. We aren't gonna have kids anyway, you know what I mean? Because we hate children. I would take my husband, I would take one other person, if they would let me, take 2 people, or if my immediate family would just count as my husband, you know? But I would take whoever they'd let me, and then I would just work my little butt off, and then go to Elysium.
Zero Dawn. He is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm?
Is there another route?
My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Sauvé? Christina Sauvé?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair. Not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
I mean, obviously Apollo didn't work out because everyone is starting from ground zero, you know, tribalism, and there's no understanding of technology or anything.
Now, those
so,
lame
like,
FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural it'd be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too. Just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea?
He's so gross.
Slipping away.
Ugh.
Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
Gross. Like, I'm not saying porn is gross, I'm saying that guy is
I
gross.
hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the
Yeah.
idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this, and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake, I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic, attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid-state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe anyway.
I also, small gaming detail here, but look at like the numbers, like they're constantly shifting and changing because, you know, they're broken. Just a cool little touch. Aloy's like, oh, I've done this before. I've restored power to doors before. You did once. I'm gonna get that fucking ancient armor, which, you know, involves restoring power to more doors. But,
there's a part missing.
We're not at the point in the game where I can get all the power cells. I missed one, apparently, because, like, I don't care about spoilers. I was looking it up because, you know, I don't care.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Okay. So, if everything is in reverse, then it should be right down, right up. Whoops. I know left and right, obviously. Right down, right up. Oh, there must have been another. I must have missed the last arrow. Right down, right up. Is there an arrow here I'm like not seeing, or? Oh, yeah. Right down, right up, left. Okay. I didn't realize it would stay highlighted after. Huh. Okay, so that can't be right. So it has to be that this one is the correct order and the other one is wrong. So just rotate everything by, you know, 180. Easy enough.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
Okay, so that one's open, which will hopefully allow us to get up there, because I think that's my missing part that I need. If I had to hazard a guess. Based fully on, like, video games and not actually on remembering, because, like, I appreciate level design as a craft, but, like, I don't have the memory to remember level design, you know, like, in depth for most games I play. Ooh.
Found one. Looks intact.
You'll be picking that up. Thank you, ma'am. We'll be going this way. Oh, just a standard supply crate. Well, whatevs. Can I drop? So clearly it needs to go here.
That should do the trick.
Alright.
Now let's get that door.
It's gonna be this one that everything's in reverse then. So, down, right, up, left, down. And yes, that is my way of, up, left. Remembering it is to just say it out loud. Helps. Down, right, up, left, down. So is it not in reverse order then? This one? Is it also in the correct? Oh, wait. Reverse order might be... Okay. I think I might understand. So then it's going to be down, left, up. Like reverse order is reading from bottom to top, maybe? I had thought it meant that everything was flipped by 180 degrees. No, that still isn't it. Alright, well then we'll try the way that's written out. Down, right, up. It's weird. Why would they have a data point saying that stuff is reversed if it's not actually reversed, you know? Alright, up, left, down, right, up.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay?
Everything's
Somehow,
in reverse.
he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Down. Left, up. Huh. I feel like this puzzle should not be giving me the difficulty that it's giving me, TBH. Maybe it's both in... Sorry, bird just flew by. Reverse to that and that. Maybe it's down, left, up, right, down. Maybe it's a double reverse.
That did it.
Double reverse.
Now
Okay.
to see what lies beyond it.
Wow, no, wow, Aloy, you're really impressive. You're killing this. Good job, Aloy. None of that. No appreciation. What do we expect from a duke?
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia, it's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
So there's also a nice little detail that, like, the vantages are, you know, like, taken as the apocalypse was happening, right? Oh, shit, I missed. Okay, I maintain that one should not have missed, but whatever. Big sigh.
You cannot hide from our wrath.
Oh, I just realized something. Oh, no, it's locked. I was gonna go back and grab one of the fire strikers, and it's locked. Wah, wah. I thought I was about to be real clever, y'all. I thought I was about to just go back and gun them down with one of their own guns. Oh, I have to go through that cutscene again, I guess. Cute. Oh, no, I don't. Well, on the one hand, it's kind of nice that they don't make me go through the cutscene again. On the other hand, it's, you know...
Eyes on me, brothers.
It's one. I got to, like, jump up to, you know...
Stay in cover. Stay in check.
Slow time while you're aiming a shot skill. That's only useful if I actually, like, aim it correctly, of course. I think the concentration is better for me, personally. There's not even that many of them. They're just hitting really hard.
Shadow taking.
What? Thank you. Yeesh. Yeesh. But anyway, so the vantages are meant to be how it looked like during the apocalypse, right? Because they were taken while the apocalypse was happening. He names it Apoca Shitstorm Tour, which is, you know, funny and cute and all. One other thing about it, though, is when you look over Meridian, there's no spire there. Why is there no spire there? Because the spire was made by Minerva to send out the codes that would stop the machines from being aggressive and just, like, kind of deactivate them all, basically. So that's also why you come across, you know, like a lot of them buried in sand dunes and whatnot, because up till that point they would have been active, right? They would have been moving around and stuff, searching for any signs of life to kill, like Elizabeth said. So when I saw the Vantage this time, I was like, wait a second. That spire happened after the apocalypse, but it's like clearly a huge machine thing. And they're, of course, calling that their holy spire. They've made it like a tenet, like a big part of their religion. Because of course they did. Because what are things we don't understand if not fodder for our religions?
Repeat.
Or not.
Consider, what if I don't die? What if you die?
Why?
Why? Because you shot me. Why? Because you came in here shooting me. Really not that hard.
For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
It's like, bro, don't remind me. I'm doing my best here. We'll take a health potion to then be able to loot a health potion. But yeah, anyway, I will just continue to geek out over all the details in this game because, like, man, you can tell this game was such a, like, you know, a labor of love to the people who worked on it, and they were so detail-focused and detail-oriented. Like, really cannot say enough positive things about this game. Every now and again, do I have a gripe? Yes, I bring it up when I have it. It seems like some of it is stuff that will be fixed in Forbidden West, though, like the fact that I'll be able to equip more weapons. A little bit of a pet peeve of mine. You know, I don't like games that are like, you can equip 2 or 4. Like, I want like 6 or 8, you know, just how I be. I don't want to have to go into the whole inventory screen. From Margot Shen, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, there is an accent on the E that I'm not familiar with. To Elizabeth Sobek, subject simulation results. Wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphology. Sorry, I got distracted by the fact that I have a viewer. Hi, viewer. We're going through the Project Zero Dawn facility and learning some shit about what that was. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional. They feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind. As though she's already mourning their loss, and not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record, too. References to megafauna in some of her designs, which is why some of them look like dinosaurs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. I just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes. Margot. I love that. The game explaining, and this is clearly a Minerva facility because you've got the paw print, or not Minerva. Yeah, Minerva facility because you got the paw print indicating that this is where we're trying to regrow all the fauna. But that's why the machines look like animals.
And this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots.
Animals and dinosaurs,
her
clearly.
Personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So like, you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry. I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
Sorry, it like cut her off there. I love that for Margot, they made the intentional choice to give her like almost a Valley Girl accent, but obviously she's brilliant because you can talk with like upticks and likes and ums and not be an idiot. She says, this being maybe something that's a little personal for her, you know, as I say like and a whole bunch because I'm not an idiot, but I do use a lot of like upspeak and stuff. From Elizabeth to Margot, full steam ahead. Margot, if I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. Even address it. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction and stocking of bootstrap silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry core and the Foundry site selection plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail. Consult with Ayomidi Okilo before you finalize the silo inventories. Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes, so any exotic materials needed for the towers should be accounted for in the inventory plan. Signed off, Elizabeth, of course. This game is such a... Oh, this is like a little bit of like a hint, but not a spoiler, but like it's going to go through, right? And endear you to some of these people who are working so hard to make sure that life is going to continue on post-extinction. And you know that they're all dead. That's actually not a spoiler. This happened 1,000 years ago. Of course they're all dead. Like even if they went to Elysium, you know what I mean? Like they could live, what? A couple decades at most. They said like up to 100 years, but most of these people don't have 100 years left in their lifespan. Well, actually with future technology, they might have 100 years left because of like enhanced lifespans and all that. Like we're living longer all the time. But anyway. My point being that they do a really good job of like making you really like these people and care about them. Can I get that from out here? No, which means I'm going to end up in there somehow, some way. Oh, this house, this way.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
More eclipse.
I was going to say, I swear I just thought I heard an echo of a voice. Like a male voice, not Aloy's. And not Silence's male voice. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Like, waiting for Eclipse to pop up in front of me? Maybe they're not gonna. Like, they're in here somewhere, obviously. I'm gonna have to fight them, but... Oh, they're probably in here? Maybe? Alright. No, seems safe to... Where are you guys? Oh, you're all in there. Okay. Yeah, but there's no one in here.
The collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations.
I'm so sad for you. Obviously, Apollo didn't work out, as Aloy has pointed out.
I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy.
second. The collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin,
God, that's
English,
a lot.
Spanish, and Arabic. Third,
How do you think they picked the 4 languages that would go
onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils? The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Again, as Aloy pointed out, this is amazing, but obviously it didn't work because these people are, you know, strapping machine parts to fucking sticks to make bows and stuff. Like, they don't have the knowledge to take control of the terraforming system. Half of them think that the focuses are like demons. You know, they're like demonic entities. Oh, fuck. Did I miss a data point? No. Okay, this is where we start. Okay. I don't want to miss any. Where Aloy goes from a kid to an adult. Yeah. From Samina to Elizabeth Sobek, subject encapsulated DNA. Yeah, that's like the very beginning of the game where you like get introduced to Aloy and how she gets her focus and stuff. And the winner is encapsulated DNA. Over the past 10 days, I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solutions, magnetic, optical, quantum, even that eternity tech that FAS was shilling a year or so ago. But every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allotted space, too power-intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 300 to 400 years, etc. Encapsulated DNA will easily hold the 40-plus zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we'll embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems and sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at minus 18 degrees Celsius for 1,000 plus years. So long as I assure you that it didn't factor into my decision, may I confess I deem it entirely fitting, indeed propitious, that we will be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction? It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life is the hero, beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do. Until next time, peace be with you, Samina. So, that's how they were, storing all of the knowledge inside of encapsulated DNA, which is pretty cool, and I'll fully admit a little out of my personal understanding. Apollo update from Samina to Elizabeth. Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Far Zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, cultural data, and media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up, a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages. I suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset, with attendant curricula development about to begin. Okay, so they're trying to preserve, all languages. It's only encoded in 4. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they are performing well in testing, with children and adolescents demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half of my professors had been so entertaining. Peace be with you, Samina. So this is how the knowledge is meant to be passed down and, learned. They're trying to make it gamified, honestly, like how I'm learning languages via Duolingo, I think they're trying to go for something similar there. See, I wanted to take the sniper down without anyone noticing. It's not in the cards. Are my arrows not strong enough to one-shot? I feel like they should be, but whatever.
Unleash the power of the shadow upon them! Cover, stay in shadow!
Yeah, you have your shadow. I have my, purple fluorescence. We are not the same. Ooh, I can shoot him through there. I wasn't sure if it would actually hit, given that he's, like, kind of behind soft partial cover. Is that all of them?
You cannot escape our grasp.
Almost all of them? Where the fuck is the last guy?
That's the last of them. Alone once more.
We're gonna say he succumbed to his injuries. Well, there's all these medicinal mushrooms. So, that's good. I mean, medicinal mushrooms are not bad or anything. I just personally love Aloy's confidence that these mushrooms will not send her into, like a trip or a coma, Mushrooms are like one of those things I feel like I love mushrooms. I think they're tasty as fuck. But like I wouldn't just pick them up and eat them ever. Are you playing on PC or PlayStation, Maz? I have not actually played this on PC. I played this on my PS4 twice, and then this time on our PS5. Okay, I'm not seeing more data points, which is really what I'm, after at this point. I think this is all just like cold storage of Apollo, basically. Or a part of Apollo. I don't think it's all literally here. But from my memory, I don't know that it's an option to come back to Zero Dawn once you've left it. So I'm kind of taking my time and being really comprehensive and trying to make sure that I get all the data points. Like, I almost could have missed this one, and I would have been really upset about that.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
I appreciate that the man who was responsible for, enduring victory felt bad about it.
Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol.
I hate this guy. He's so skeevy, even without being in charge of, Hades.
The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. Spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one. Blank
I mean, they wanted
slate.
all the contingencies, right?
Only then
So.
does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
I think it's a really interesting concept, right? That, like, life on Earth is going to be wiped out. They need to repopulate. But, like, you only have so many DNA samples and embryonic chambers and stuff, so you don't just want to bring them into the world if it gets remade in a way that's, like, not habitable for humans. So it's interesting that they developed sort of this fail-safe. Obviously, somewhere it's gone wrong. And they mentioned earlier that, like, Gaia is meant to be the only true AI, and the rest of her subordinate functions, like Hephaestus that makes the cauldrons, or Hades that does this, they're supposed to not be true AI. They're just supposed to be really smart algorithms. But when we've interacted with Hades, the metal devil, he seems a little closer to an AI, like a proper intelligence. So, what happened there, we don't know. From Travis to Elizabeth, subject, quote, noise complaints. I cannot make up my mind if I want to try to do a southern accent or not. I do a good one, but that also seems obnoxious. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore? Anyone who says that the old TT codes to Bashcore is straight up lying, and you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with... You can't do this without a southern accent. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle-dazz, nuh-uh. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Ciderum runoff than listen to Grey Swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear on my mama's grave, and she was religious. Now that ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades lab, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Yeah, I'm from a rural area. This is not as hard as you would think for me. Classical music. 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal-themed stuff, too. Stop by if you want to listen. Or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no Bashcore you'll see, or hear, rather, in the screech that rends the air, and feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and ceiling, swallowing you up like you was Jonah trapped in the gullet of gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal? Might as well give up stimulants, chocolate malts, and industrial accident bids. Last I heard, we were supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me? No, I don't think so. Stay cool. Trav. I challenge anyone to physically read out Travis's emails without adopting some sort of southern drawl. You will find that you can't do it because it just sounds fucking unnatural. Thank you. The good or bad news is that there's another one. Tate here. Just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Guy's rather extreme executive authority. That ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time. What is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard, and it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheels so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms, too. So that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business, so had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for the wearer. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of all the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky. I swear ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity, then unseat it from command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are plenty strong. I guess it's time to sleep in bed. I'll back to it tomorrow, alligators. So presumably, that might be what happened to Gaia that's allowed Hades sort of out of his box, so to speak. She was isolated somehow from the functions that she was supposed to do. From Samina to Travis, CC Elizabeth, subject archive abuse. She's, of course, in charge of Apollo. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo archive submission number 0000238876. Your 666... I have a lisp, so this is actually kind of hard. Your 666th submission in just 5 days. And oh, what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings re inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just one, but all 16 installments of Making a Millipede. Don't worry, the Pasolini material has already been preserved. Extreme, perhaps, but art. 2, for clarifying a concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught for archivists such as myself, the definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's favorite utterance, I know it when I see it. Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I have directed Apollo staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on, I don't know, your assigned work? We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway. Bitter? Anyway, I think Travis is a dick. Not because he was in charge of Hades, but because he, made a quip earlier about, how he wants to do this work so that he can spend the rest of his life in their, Elysium afterlife chambers just watching porn for 30 years. Nothing against porn, but, dude, that's all you want to do?
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist.
I mean, I like porn, but 30 years of it?
In charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me.
Yeah, if he's one of the authors of these Accords, I could see why he was an alpha candidate from Elizabeth.
Staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors, to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
I understood that because I'm learning French. He said, so if you are ready. And it wasn't in the subtitles. Look at me, adding knowledge to your gaming experience because I'm trying to learn a language of the place that I live. Cradle Servitor Personae. From Patrick Brochard Klein to Elizabeth. Development of the artificial personae for Cradle Servitors, Nurturer, Disciplinarian, Healer continues at a good pace. Right, because there will be no adults to raise these babies. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. The stimulus-driven switching of personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated. Especially concerning are the entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian and healer personae. I've also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother personae intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I've attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings in just data corrupted. Because we don't get to know, like, you know, everything, of course. FZ chambers. From Patrick to Elizabeth, the ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation. Astonishing. I don't know what you had to give Far Zenith in trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risks of ECMO resolved, nutrition delivery resolved, hormonal stability resolved, 12 other risk areas resolved. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand. But if the rest of FZ's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours, then get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours. Far Zenith, I believe, being like an attempted colony that they sent out into space, which we don't know the ultimate... There was at least one colony they sent out into space that, like, we do know ultimately failed. But, like, there was a colony on the moon that we don't know what happened. So, like, I don't know, is there just people on the moon? I don't know. But on these cradle facilities all around the world, right, that makes it really easy to do, like, expansion games, like Forbidden West, where you're going into other areas where there will already be pre-established tribes because the cradle facilities happened everywhere. So, like, they thought of so much. This game design is so comprehensive. This world building is such that there are so few holes in it that I find it very impressive. From Patrick to Elizabeth, subject Cradle sealed. Eleuthia 01 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Ping back from crucial systems is good for our maiden voyage a success. Regards my dispute with the beta Zovyzygote selection. Of course, I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow in our future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in future cradle populations. Donc, which is like butt, I think. In addition to personally overseeing completion of the Eleuthia 02 site inside Mount Nemuli, I will formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within the week. I think donc is like but or and in French. Jason uses it all the time when he talks, so it's like a placeholder maybe? I don't know. I think it's but, like B-U-T. Anyway, it's also great because it, without being heavy-handed, explains why there's such phenomenal racial diversity in these games, right?
Would be spawned inside such
because they, like, actively chose to make it racially diverse.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
I was trying not to fall into the stalactite pit, or stalagmite? I know there's a cute little way to not get them confused, and yet I always manage. Okay.
I'll shake it out later.
Yeah, girl, you're gonna be smelling like caves for days. I think we're in Elizabeth's office. I think we made it. Now, not to leave you hanging on the edge of your seats, but I'm gonna take a quick 5. I have this habit, right, to keep myself hydrated. I try to drink water whenever there's a cutscene. There's so many cutscenes in this, I may have overdone it a little bit. So, this game is super in-depth. It's why it is one of my, it might be my favorite game. It's hard for me to say without the sequels being completed, because if the sequels go really sour, it can, push me back a bit. But, yeah, I'll be back in, 5 minutes. I have to pee, so. Pausing the stream, BRB. All right, we're back. Thank you for your patience and understanding. And also a challenge to any viewers in the future who are like, lame, weak. You try drinking a half liter of water in an hour of stream time. See how your bladder does.
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok? Have we learned nothing from our mistakes?
Your mistakes, I think you mean?
All I'm saying is, give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Farrow's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life, a hardwired override is, I believe, a necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
Now at this point, it's not immediately clear to us what a hardwired override, would mean or does. I don't think. It's not meant to be clear. This, of course, being where we came in. I just went to the left first. Yeah, if you look.
Looks like it used to hold
But
something.
would benefit from antilopine morphologies, though caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have
I hate pointing a gun at her, but it gives us a little more zoom.
Morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species
Unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion.
Look at Elizabeth like whip up like, oh my god, she's sad. She's sad!
That is difficult to describe.
Because they're trying to make an AI and she has to feel.
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
There was a mention in a data point I found out in the world before about like a Turing system that was like designed to essentially put a limit on how much artificial intelligence could be present in one like singular entity. And here they're trying to like go against that and create an AI because there was an AI named Vast Silver that was a climate change intervention AI that apparently went fucking rogue. A lot of people are speculating that this AI, who's been mentioned in like 2 data points, is going to be present in Forbidden West. Of course, I don't know the answer to that.
You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all.
I love Gaia. I mean, you're meant to. She's, great. She's the protector of all life, not just human life. I love that they wrote in the explanation for why some of the robot machines that you have to fight are like clearly based off of like saber-toothed tigers, or like in the new one there's going to be one that's based off of a T-Rex. It's because she found it sad when things went extinct and she wanted to like honor them. I think that's so fucking beautiful, while also giving some explanation beyond dinosaurs, neat,
Forget about traveling light.
What could we not take? Oh, yeah, we are pretty full up on health potions. Odyssey has failed from Elizabeth to all alphas. All. Some terrible news, I'm afraid. Far Zenith has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. It makes sense, but it's cool that they actually cared enough to put in an explanation beyond dinosaurs are neat. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drive spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo, all were lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for the continuation of the human species and earthly life. We must succeed, Elizabeth. So they tried to send everything they were doing out into space for like a backup system, is my understanding. And it blew up. Artemis status from Charles Ronson to Elizabeth Sobek. It's coming along, Liz. I'm pretty positive about it, if those words can still mean anything. Had my sleeves rolled up negotiating with frozen zoos for their samples. So many species trapped in ghoulish hologram dioramas, suspended in what-ifs. More than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. We've started mapping out primary succession, selecting the pioneer organisms for a balanced and sustainable biosphere, microorganisms and insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves, thousands more that will have to wait their turn until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them. So they can return to a world that this time will understand the concept of conservation before it's too late. There's already been too many too lates. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. The samples we lost were, irreplaceable. Thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The Earth was a lifeless rock before, and someday it will be again, but not now, not like this, not on our watch. Ronson. So I think that is also an explanation for why there's only limited fauna in the world, right? Like when you're running around, there's foxes and raccoons, but there aren't wolves and bears. I think it's because the generations were meant to be entrusted with the knowledge, and hello, new viewer, to bring them back in a way that would be sustainable. But as we know, the Apollo knowledge system failed. At this point, we, people who haven't played the game yet, just don't know why Apollo failed.
The Alpha Registry master file.
And I even brought a sandwich.
Yeah, no signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine.
God, he's an
what
asshole.
Kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
I also hate Silence so much because, like, we're clearly working on a mutual goal, but he does not give a shit why Aloy wants this. All he cares about is the knowledge. It might be. I don't know. I've never played Destiny. Like, he doesn't care if Aloy lives or dies, except that without her, he can't get into these forbidden places that he said he's tried for decades to do, unsuccessfully. He doesn't care about her as a fucking person. He just cares about her as a tool. Which is so gross. Because Aloy is so great.
For you, child.
And that's where the game ends and Aloy dies. You know, happens. Just kidding, obviously.
My entire life.
Also, I'm muting as I take bites. It's a crunchy sandwich.
Prophetic certainty that I was destined for glory as a great champion of the sun. Even when Jiran was murdered, even when Meridian fell, I never doubted my destiny. Until you came along. When I heard that you had survived, a doubt took root in my mind. As sure as the sun rises and falls each day, those I am bade to kill die. And yet I failed. How? Why?
Because her dad, Ross, punched you out and threw Aloy off the cliff to save her.
This pestering doubt grew. It grew when High Priest Bahavas went missing. And when the true Sun King Itamen was snatched away.
Cool.
It not only grew, but multiplied. I kept thinking of the moment my knife pierced your throat. One twist.
His lines there about Bahavas and Itamen. If you don't do those quests before this, those lines just aren't there. There's a lot of stuff like this in this game where it's like, depending on what order you do stuff, you'll get or you'll miss a line or two here or there, which is really neat. It doesn't impact, like, the whole story because it is meant to be a linear story, which I appreciate about it. It's meant to tell you a narrative tale. But it impacts certain dialogue aspects, which I think is really cool.
See that scar on your cheek? You didn't get to finish.
Yes, I remember. He fought well. For a savage.
His name was Rost, and he was a better man than you could ever hope to be.
Flipping off Helis, obviously.
Is the one who doesn't end
Savage.
up with his guts steaming on the ground. No, it wasn't him. I could have finished you before he attacked. But I didn't. This failing troubled my thoughts. Haunted every step. It was only when I captured you, down in that place, that I finally glimpsed the sun's design etched at length across the course of events. You were meant to survive that day on the mountain. Meant to interfere at dig sites and kill my men. Meant to eliminate High Priest Bahavas. Meant to snatch Itamen away. Conversely, I was meant to capture you. Here. So that you might die as a sacrificial offering to the sun. Everything as it was meant to be. Predestined and preordained.
Another great example of Aloy being Aloy is right here. None of these are complimentary. She's not going to try to scam or sweet talk her way out of the situation. She hates this man. You thought so what? Oh, wait, was Jason watching for a minute? I don't know, now it says 2 watching again. Sometimes Jason pops in and out, but it is during the middle of his workday, so like, you know, I don't expect his full rapt attention. I get that at night. But anyway, all she's gonna do is insult him, because that's Aloy, that's who she is. You just get to choose which insult. You're a thug just feels a little basic. You're a fool. I personally prefer you're a puppet, because I feel like he's not gonna care about any of these, right? But I feel like you're a puppet is, I don't know, I would be devastated if someone called me a puppet. Not like devastated, I'm not giving you fodder, but if someone called me a thug, I would honestly just laugh. Look at me. If someone called me a fool, I'd be like, probs. But puppet, I'd be like,
some destiny.
Of what? I don't like that.
Orders, not some grand cosmic design. You're a puppet, with Hades yanking the strings. A pawn pushed around by larger forces. It'd be laughable if there weren't so much killing involved. Hades is an ancient machine, not the buried shadow of Karja myth. It doesn't care about Meridian. It wants to kill everything and everyone. And you are its dutiful slave.
I serve not the buried shadow, but the sun in shadow. All halves of nature joined to
all
one
halves?
cause.
Do you mean 2 halves? Because there would only be 2.
Dark to light.
2 halves?
Do you really not hear how ridiculous that sounds? You've gone from serving an insane homicidal Sun King to an insane homicidal machine. You're moving down in the world, not up.
I'll remember those words as I watch your corpse burn. Whatever's left of it. You fail to grasp the point. As surely as you've been conquered, so has all doubt. And with certainty of belief comes unstoppable force.
Then open this cage and put your faith to the test. See if things work out like you expect.
The circle has closed.
He won't do that because he's afraid we will kill him.
Exactly where it belongs.
He's a little bitch.
The errant beast, now caged, will serve her true purpose. A sacrificial animal. Oh,
Gross.
Speaking of sacrifice, I forgot to tell you. After you crashed the Eclipse network, I sent messengers into the east to rally the forces there and mount an invasion of the sacred land. I ordered every Nora killed. I was hoping to catch you there, but alas, it all seems to have been unnecessary.
They did cast me out, but I don't know that means they all need to die. They're irrelevant also feels harsh. I guess needless slaughter.
Why butcher dozens of innocents for no gain? It's a waste of effort.
You're right. I won't even be there to enjoy it. In any case, I couldn't recall the order even if I wished to. Thanks to your destruction of the network, communication over distances is impossible. You not only doomed yourself, but an entire tribe. Do we not see the scorching judgment of the sun in these events?
No, I just see you being like
Your
a
focus.
colossal dickhole.
Such a powerful device, isn't it? And yet, so fragile.
I hate when he does that.
So you see, This time, I did not hesitate. The knife has already been twisted.
And now is the fun part of the game where we have to, like, you know, unarmored, unfocused, get our way out of the sacrificial sun ring, because there is a finish to this game, and there is another game coming out that do involve Aloy. This is not a spoiler. You know,
Rejoice.
This is just
our years in
an obstacle. But I do remember it being a particularly big of an obstacle because we don't have like our shit.
To break. And when it does, the false Sun King will be dead, and Holy Meridian ours once more. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy. All halves of nature join
again. It's two halves.
Shadow to
there
sun, light to dark,
math.
To day.
I know Apollo was destroyed, but like you guys have to have figured out basic math by now. Corruptors. Fun and spicy. Fun and spicy.
See the proof of the sun's blessing before your eyes? How else could shadows such as these prowl in broad light of day? Were they not approved by the sun and joined to our cause?
Behemoth is a big, nasty machine.
The Radiant Turan ordered many faithless, crushed beneath the hooves of the Behemoth. Mighty is the Behemoth in the eye of the sun, but it is mightier still.
It is mighty in any eye. It's a big boy. Look at him. He's a big boy.
Schemed and slithered, be the first to die. Let her be the first of thousands.
Oh man. I've been delivered a chocolate for nourishment, strength, and dessert. Thank you. This fight is a bitch, like I said from what I recall.
Without weapons. All my weapons are up on the platform. There's no way out of this ring. Maybe I could use its strength against it.
I'm trying to search to see if there's any weapons on these things. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
He's on the way.
Yeah, I don't think any of these have weapons. They're just lesser machines that were tossed in here to die.
And that pillar will come down.
So if I just, yeah, stand on the other side of it, hoping that it'll bring it down, maybe?
That did it. One more pillar and that platform will come down.
Alright, yeah, that's how we get our weapons back. Good news is, I was like full on medicine before this. Bad news is, obviously, I don't have like any healing potions or anything like that.
It's down.
Good news is, despite not having our focus, we can now, I believe, grab our weapons. So at least we'll have those. I think she also puts on her armor, which, like, quick change queen. Yeah, just laces that up just real quick. But this makes it a little more of a
Guess we got our weapons back.
fair fight.
Now you're just a big dumb target.
Oh, right. I just automatically tried to, like, use the focus to focus in on, like, weak spots, and I can't do that because I don't have one.
That canister on the cellar looks important.
Yeah, I fought the humans before, you know. I guess I appreciate her being, like, you know, reminding the players in case you forgot, like, what components are important because they're not highlighted.
They've got something to do with his lift attacks.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Corrupted machines also really don't like to be set on fire. gonna try that a little bit. A little bit higher. Trying to tear stuff off, obviously. Mixed success there.
Freeze canister on the stick.
That came off. Trying to, like, when she says the things on the side of its head, does she mean these things? Those come off? I feel like those don't come off. I feel like this is the freeze canister she's talking about, though, and I do have freeze arrows now, so if I can just not miss. Yeah, it froze it a little bit, which is nice. Don't mind the dog walking in front of the screen, she'll do that. God, behemoths are bitches. They're just big. Oh, I just shot someone in the crowd. Well, whatever. You were gonna sit here and watch me get executed. I don't really care. And you were gonna not just, like, sit here, like, you know... Like, you were gonna do it for fun. You were gonna watch me die for fun. Seems rude. Ooh, okay, that was a big one. Now I should be able to... Oh, you can usually do a critical strike while they're down, and I'm wondering if I can't because it's corrupted. Because it's, like, hurting me to even get close, you know what I mean? Oh, I destroyed part of your stands. Oh well, again, I don't care if I destroy your stands. Y'all were gonna watch me get executed, so you can do it. God, can you all stop cheering whenever it gets a hit and not cheering whenever I get, like, a good hit in? Like, so rude. I know you were here to watch me get executed, but don't, like, rub it in, you know? I'm totally trying to shoot that canister off its hip, and it's not working. It's, like, doing damage when I hit it, but it's not actually getting rid of it. We're getting down low, though. We're getting down low on this guy. He's starting to fade a little in terms of hit points. I love that there's not just, like, you know, the little head marker over his head, but also, like, if you come at them more, like, they'll lose pieces of armor and stuff, right? So you kind of also get a visual representation that it is getting weaker because you're knocking off components, you're knocking off armor plates. Sometimes some of the machines will even start to, like, limp. You know what I mean? So they give you a good idea that they're getting weakened, which is nice. Beyond just the HUD display. Oh, are you gonna send the corruptors after us now? I feel like that's what happens.
Kill her.
We can take on 2 corruptors. I've taken on 1 before. I could probably take on 2.
Kill her!
Now that I have all my junk back.
Why leave it to them? Come get me yourself!
But I don't have to fight 2 corruptors because I get an exit. It doesn't seem fair, but this was meant to be like an execution. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not supposed to be fair. Oh, unless you mean not fair for them. In which case, thank you. He recognized Silence, though. They got some history. Silence also obviously figured out how to overturn machines, and everyone in the stands just like, this is cool. This is exciting. They just want violence. They don't care who does it. Is like Silence one good thing he does, but I do maintain that Aloy would have been fine. Like, they could have left that fight to the player, and if you were at an appropriate level, you would have been fine. You know?
So you're here. Really here. You risked your life.
Of course I did. If you'd been killed, the Nora Sacred Mountain would never have given up its secrets.
Again,
Too bad
though,
you
only
wasted your
sees her as a
time,
tool.
then. Helis destroyed my focus. And the Alpha Registry with it.
Not at all. The whole time I've been monitoring your focus, I've duplicated every data file you scanned. Installing that data to a new focus was trivially easy. Happy birthday, Isaac. Daddy sure does love his little big man.
You're really good at
The
making
first
impossible
file we
to
ever
make these
scanned, of
sounds.
course.
But I guess
Yeah, some of them really do. Aloy does not look like Ashley Birch, which is fine. They designed that character way before
Meet the machine
they
that burst
picked
me
her
into
voice
this
actor.
world. Isn't that how you put it?
I'll be off.
But I have seen
Wait.
pictures of Silence, and it does look like him. The blue stuff is actually, so Silence, we know at this point, used to be Banuk, and the Banuk believe that machines have, like, spirits, like souls, and they implant machine bits into themselves to make themselves, like, closer to the machine. So that's actually blue machine cabling, like the kind you'll see on Aloy's armor, but, like, under his skin, like scarification.
How did you track my location when
Which
I
is
wasn't wearing a focus?
really cool, but also like terrifying, especially because they don't have like antibiotics. So you just do that. It's like a dermal piercing, where they basically just make a hole in you and stick it in, but it doesn't go like through. Like I've known people who had like dermals on their hips that like you're not going through your hips, so they just kind of carve out a little hole and stick it in there. I like a lot of body mods. That is not one that I personally enjoy, but everybody different. I like tattoos and I like some piercings.
I had to destroy a
Dermals freak me out a little.
necessary parts, of course.
The cables under the skin freaks me out a little bit, especially like on the face. Like,
Yet another
oh,
benefit
so
of
scary.
monitoring
Would
your
not want.
activities through your focus. Truth be told, the underlying logic of the technique isn't so different from rites practiced by Banuk shamans, though of course, far more advanced.
Great. You're welcome, I guess. Helis recognized you back in the Sun Ring. You told me that you'd assisted the Eclipse, not that you knew the man who killed who almost killed me.
So now you know. The man is a serious threat. So
You
let's
can
do
say
all
he
we
was your
can to
dad,
make sure
Aloy.
that he and others
That's
don't
okay.
succeed.
Right. I'll be on my way. To make matters worse, Helis ordered an Eclipse detachment to attack the Nora.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that you have a bad
The
headache.
tribe's
Thanks for
already
stopping
weak.
in, and definitely
And
go
we
lay
stand
down, and
a
I hope you
chance.
feel better.
You should come with me.
Well, absolutely not. I have preparations to make elsewhere.
Thank you. Thank you
What
for stopping by,
kind
genuinely.
Why
More
do I
fun to
bother
stream when
asking?
it's not to
You're not
avoid.
gonna tell me.
When the time is right, I'll be in touch. I'll contact you later. In the meantime, should you need to return to Shadow Karja territory, I brought armor to conceal your identity.
You think of everything, don't you?
One of us has to. Aloy, when you were recovering the Alpha Registry down in the Zero Dawn bunker, I was needlessly cruel.
Yeah, you were.
For your
You're a
sake.
dick, Silent.
I hope there is someone waiting there for you inside the mountain. Not a what, but a who.
I really have trouble believing anything he says, even when he's being kind. I really have trouble believing that that's not just another elaborate manipulation to make Aloy like and trust him so that she will continue to work with him. Is my distaste colored by my previous playing of this game? Yeah, of course it is. But, you know, that was an interesting glitch. The snow happened midair and then fell down. That was interesting. I do have 5 skill points, so real quick, I'm going to spend those. I don't really care about that. I'm going to go after these, I think. There we go. Alright, so we've been dropped off here, not too far from where we were in Sunfall. Zero Dawn alternate entrance. So there might be like I don't think most places in this game become inaccessible later. I think a lot of them you can redo, especially if they have data points. Like I know, for example, that Maker's End, the last big story thing we did, I had to go back there in my last playthrough of the game because there wasn't. I missed some data points or something. So I had been thinking about fast traveling back here to like take you all to Rost's grave because it's something that a lot of people don't do. But if you go back to Rost's grave at any point, Aloy will talk to him. And depending on where you are in the story, of course, you'll have more or less to say. But you can choose to just go on, and it will give you all of the dialogue, so you don't actually miss any if you visit it later versus earlier. I'm no longer sure if I can fast travel there, because of the current thing going on with the Nora. I don't think I'll be able to fast travel. I think I'm gonna get close, and then it's gonna kick me out. Oh, okay. Right, I don't think I have the thing that lets me gather stuff while mounted. So. If I remember correctly, at some point when we go to the Nora, everything is already shit has hit the proverbial fan, you know what I'm saying? So. While we are here, I am gonna snag this. Whoa, buddy. Hey, guys. Hey, guys.
Uh-oh, spot.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna snag this vantage. Scrappers at this point, you know, not being terribly challenging enemies.
Sand in my throat. Burns.
Day 12. As we watched the booster arc up into the night sky, riding a pillar of flame, you took my hand, squeezed it, and said, "You have written the story of our family across the stars."
So this is obviously what it looked like, right? This metal ring that they've devised as their gladiatorial. And this is what it looks like now. So you can see that a lot of that, of course, is intact because it is some sort of heavier metals that they used for that. So we're down only missing 2 vantages. And then, of course, there's a lot of text within those. Now, I mentioned earlier that in order to actually get through this and the expansion before February 18th, I'm going to end up doing definitely some pop-up streams because otherwise, just time-wise, it's not going to work out. One stream I've been thinking about doing, though, is presuming that I get all the data points, because even though I've already had a completionist playthrough of this game where I got 100% of everything, I still want to get them all because they... I like rereading them, and some of them contain references to things like Vast Silver, that AI that I mentioned a little earlier in this stream, that people think are going to be present in the sequel, so I like reminding myself. But I've been considering, going through the data points in, one stream where basically I just narrate them so that people can watch them, podcast style, without having to actually stop and pause and read everything. Because there definitely are already, go-throughs on YouTube where those exist, but I haven't looked extensively, but I don't think it's a typical feature that people will read them to their audience. I think it's just you pause it and you read it for yourself. But a lot of people might not want that or might not have time for that or whatever. I would need to keep my own commentary to a minimum, though, which is really fucking hard for me because I never shut up and I feel like my opinions are important even when they're not. But I've also just decided I'm reading these out loud as I get them. At first I was like, oh, I won't do that, people will find it boring. Then I went, 3 people watch this and I don't care if they find it boring. I like reading out loud, it's fun. By its own nature, it towers above the tangle of rivers. Don't say it's a lot of dirt piled high. Without end, the mist of dawn, the evening cloud draw their shadows across it from the 4 directions. You can look up and see it, green and steep and wild. That's meant to be about a mountain, perhaps?
They're new growth.
Yeah, they are new growth. Or like newer, at least. So in the interest of main storying, like I said, I don't know how far I'm going to be allowed to get into the Nora lands. Usually at some point they tell me like fast travel is not available. Let's try to fast travel. Yep, not allowed to this location right now. I was going to say like let's try to just fast travel to Rost's grave. But they won't let me. So where can I fast travel to? Like, okay, so how close can I get? Looks like I can get anywhere outside of the Embrace. So we'll go for like here, to get like close to the Embrace, basically. But yeah, if now or in the future you're like, I would be interested in a stream where you just go through the data points for this game, let me know and I'll totally do that. And then I'll do what I do with all of the streams, which is slap them on the YouTube. I then just slap them on the YouTube. Usually same day, sometimes next day. Admittedly, Wednesdays just went up today, but that was because we had stuff going on with the dog and my priorities were simply elsewhere, you know? I don't think that fire is supposed to be there, all that smoke. I don't think that that's normal. Actually, can I ride you guys? I always forget which things are rideable. So like, say I wanted to ride this guy. Can I? I've now overridden him. But can I actually ride him? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. You're my friend. I had to hurt this one. Anyway, can I ride you? I don't think I can ride you. Which is a shame. Look at how majestic that mount would be. But, you know, c'est la vie. Genuinely was after the boar. There we go. I do find it a little bit maddening that every hunting ground, which is what this is one of the hunting grounds, every hunting ground has a campfire at it. You just can't, like, you can't fast travel to the hunting ground campfires. It's really weird. Did you fall, like, are they falling over prematurely because I've already hit them? And it's like, no, you've done these ones? Or... Actually, real quick, not to be boring on main, but, oh, I can't really see what she looks like in this because I'm covering it. That's annoying. So we'll just equip it and see what she looks like. That's pretty cool looking. She's the only redhead in the entire world, but they'll be fooled by that. I have faith. Oh boy, so many, so much. It's fine. I'm just looking at how full I am on stuff. Okay, I'm not so bad. Because, like, there is a merchant right here I could, you know, sell shit to, but, like, I'm not so full up that I feel like that's a super huge necessity, you know what I'm saying? But if we were like completely full on, you know, I couldn't pick up any more resources or mod slots or modification units. I'm not immediately remembering what word they use for them. But if I couldn't pick up any more of anything, I would have just taken a second and sold it. I've been doing most of the inventory stuff off stream because I know it can be a little boring to watch.
Trees on fire. The embrace. Watchtower's burning, but the Sentinels had time to warn the tribe.
Seeker, you've returned.
Bro, what's happening to your skin?
Where is everyone?
They fell back.
Oh my god, it's the rain.
Took
The
shelter
rain's falling
inside.
on him. I love
The
the
secret
idea
map.
of it. The execution is a little
But the faithless and their demons pursued.
odd.
Can I
But
help you?
No, Seeker. I am broken. It won't be long now.
yikes. Can I offer you a merciful death? This is going to do the same exact conversation? It totally is.
Please leave me.
Oh no, not the same.
Help others. I am beyond your help. Go! I will beg the goddess to guide you. Seeker.
Oh, and he dies. Okay, but can we now loot his body? Nope. No, we cannot. Nova, what you doing there, Popper?
Maria.
Popper, what you doing?
She wasn't one to give up ground. Well, she didn't sell her life cheaply. In the end,
And
I
she
guess
leaves
that's
behind 14 metal shards. Excuse me for half a second here. What's going on over there, Popper? You having a good time? She's like, I'm having a time. It's not a good time. As mentioned at the beginning of the stream, Nova's having a rough past couple of days. So, you know. Maybe this is why we stay on the towel, though, huh, sweetie? Come here. Come here. Here, yeah. You stay on the towel so that maybe if you continue to do spit-ups like that, you don't do them on the couch. Which is what just happened. She did that on the other couch. It's okay. I have a steam cleaner. I'll just steam it out later. That's fine. Okay, so I am going to do a quick outfit swap to my Banuk Heavy Sickness Eater because it will allow me a little more corruption protection.
Ready or not.
Oh boy, this way. And where I was just like, oh, I can take on 2 corruptors. They're rough boys, though. For the record, at no point did I say they weren't. I didn't say it would be easy, I just said I thought I could. I thought Aloy could. What are y'all even weak to? Fire. Okay, well I'm continuing to set you on fire as much as I can. Problem is I've like torn off its guns, and like when I light it up, right, I'm not immediately seeing other areas that are weak. Oh, maybe the legs. Yeah, I hit it in the leg and it didn't like that. All right. All right.
I need to stand here. Anything to protect the embrace. The gates couldn't hold. This is Hades' future. Metal and ash.
It is. That is what Hades seems to be going after. So from what we can tell at this point, right, of what was known in-game, just pick up that whole thing, it's fine. She's picked up bigger pieces of metal than that before and they just vanish. I just always find it kind of funny. Yeah. I appreciate that they make it like everything is smoke, you know what I mean? They do a good job about that. Hades was only supposed to activate if something went like catastrophically wrong with Gaia and Hades was needed to intervene. So, did something actually go catastrophically wrong? If so, what was it, right? And that made Hades feel like it needed to intervene. Oh, it's seen me. Well, I should have known I wasn't going to be able to pass without fucking with this guy. Alright, there's one gun. You know, maybe I should have snuck past this guy. This guy, in addition to a corruptor, is going to be, like, a lot. I'm not saying it's going to be impossible, but I am saying it's going to be, like, a lot. Am I supposed to be fighting these, or am I supposed to be running from them? Again, not saying that I can't make this work. Just saying, it's gonna be a rough one, boys. It's gonna be a rough one here, guys. Critical hit that bitch. Oh shit, that was a completely missed shot on my part. Yeah, you know, I might have been meant to technically sneak past these. That seems vaguely familiar to me, to tell you the truth. But you know what? We're in it now. I'm not about to run away. So we're going to try to have this happen, without running away. If we die, right, we'll sneak next time, and we'll say that we learned our lesson. It was an important lesson and a good lesson, and we feel good about it. Okay, but this guy has to be close to dying, right? Like, you have to be so close, bud. Look at you. I don't even see health on your little line. Alright, there we are. Maybe I should just run past the Deathbringer. But, like, I feel bad, because can the Nora handle the Deathbringer? Or, you know, am I just, like, condemning even more of them to death, you know? By the bringer of it. I think if I get it to a certain meter on that temperature level, it will explode. I'm recalling correctly. Like an explosion will occur. Or it'll at the very least like critically overheat or something maybe? I don't know. I thought that, but then didn't explode, so... Very much on fire. It's interesting that it's like not following me. These guys did though. These guys followed me. Right, why follow me when you can shoot me from all the way over there? You know what? You made a good point. I kind of appreciate that it did end up hitting its own people, though. Did that component come off? Did that gun come off? I think it did. Shooting that heart there, I think, also gives it a damage. Oh, man. Like, look at it, though. It's working. It's coming down. It's getting weaker. If I can just do what, Katie? Just do what exactly? Good news is, my highlight today is popping. I look like a fucking glazed donut. Wait, where am I? Alright, how much of that did it not save? Oh, it saved none of it. So I don't even get to say, like, that I brought down that corruptor, because in-game that didn't happen. Alright, it's fine, whatever. They both still gonna be here? Yep. And I think this time I'm gonna learn, and I'm just gonna run and hide.
We have a problem! This cradle. Release to the ground.
You see me going at your friend next to you, and you're just like, you know, I'm good. Also, I fully ran up to them thinking that they were Nora. I won't lie to you. I really did. I thought those were Nora.
Still sniffing around.
God. I mean, on the one hand, it's like, how much does Aloy care about these people? They outcasted her from birth just from being born, you know what I mean? On the other hand, like, it is still her tribe, you know? And it's still a tribe full of people, which is, you know, genocide. If you were wiping them all out. That's what we call genocide, isn't it? I thought that was a watcher, but I guess it wasn't. Huh. Anyway. So that's one of them.
Be fascinating.
And that's the second.
They weren't looking for me.
Oh, and that's a sawtooth. Okay. I am of the firm belief that you're not meant to take out all of these machines / people. I'm over-leveled to a really insane point. I am level 43. This quest is level 25. So it's not about, you know, how over-leveled you are, or what are your weapons or whatever. It's just, it's meant to, I think, intentionally be overwhelming. Like, you probably could take them all out. I came really close to taking out that Corruptor and that Deathbringer, as you saw.
Get it while I can.
But it would be more, honestly, more difficult, more effort than I'm, like, willing to put in just to say that I did it, when I don't even think that's meant to be the goal.
Another battle.
You know?
Another defeat. The Eclipse smashed through.
They did bring down a Corruptor, though, which is impressive, you know. I mean, I know Aloy brings down Corruptors, like, single-handedly, but whatever. I'm gonna bring down Corruptors single-handedly. what I'm about to have to do. Oh, there's 2 of you. Oh, that's spicy fun. God, I can't even get like a swing in. Like I'm trying to get swings in on these legs. You know what I mean? Oh, they're both together, that's why. You've just created a horrible spider monstrosity that I hate so much. Actually, can you corrupt a corruptor? Genuinely asking. I don't think you can you? No, it seems like it tries to take hold and then it just can't. Okay, run over to this while it's down. Got critical hit in there. Get knocked back a lot, that's fine. Trying to take down, you know, obviously both of them, but like if I could get one down, that would be a great boon at this time. Because then I have less things coming at me. Oh, are you my friend that's at like... Yeah, you're the one that's not really hit very much. You, however, are very, very close to death. Okay, good. We got one down. Again, is this a fight that I maybe could have avoided? I don't know, Mabes. I don't know, though. I feel like I remember having to do this one. I feel like I remember similarly learning my Deathbringer lesson from past games. And not hitting them all. Because you can't take down all the machines. Ooh. Don't mind if I do, though, with the dummy. The legs are definitely weak spots on these bad boys. Whew. Sheesh. Did I get to search that other corruptor? Genuine question. I musta, because it emptied. Alright, before I go blazing into there, let's give ourselves some more arrows. There's like a lot of them in here. Okay. Alright, well, I think at least one of those should have hit him, but what do I know? The moral of the story is use a precision bow, because even when you don't get a headshot, it often will kill them if it's a full draw. Or at the very least, it'll do a lot.
You cannot hide.
Stop ducking. It's no fun. Alright. Yeah, last time we were in Mother's Watch, it did not look like this. I still hear a machine prowling around. Oh, there was another corruptor here. I didn't do that one, so the Nora must have gotten to that one. Just gonna grab all the shit that I can. It's all good and useful shit. If not for me to use, at the very least for selling.
Keep that for later.
Definitely worth going over there to get some of that medicine. What do I hear? Prowling! I hear it, but I don't see it. It's kind of scary, right? A corrupted Thunderjaw. Alright. There's a chance that I might be able to sneak past the Thunderjaw. Oh.
Right on target.
Right on target indeed. Good job, Aloy. Alright. That went alright. That was not so bad, because I only had a scrapper. I might have to fight that Thunderjaw to get into the mountain. That might be what they have, like, patrolling just outside of it.
For you.
Seems like a thing I would do if I were the Eclipse, right? Put, like, a big beastie right outside.
Corrupted Thunderjaw, right. The survivors must be holed up in the mountain. If the tunnel collapses, they'll be buried. And I'll never reach the hatch.
That's right! Bring down the mountain!
I understand there's a little bit of a time sensitivity happening. I also understand that,
You dug your own grave, Nora! You'll be buried in there!
Cutscene!
Braves!
Oh, right.
Aloy's side, now!
For Aloy!
They're gonna help me, even though they used to hate me, because I was an outcast, because I had the audacity to be born, which I did not ask for.
They're still alive.
Drop that. Go get the other one. God, these guns are good. Look at that. Look at how much that dropped it. Just from those gunny guns.
Crack it down!
It makes me feel like the Nora have a fucking chance against this thing. Again, has Aloy taken down Thunderjaws by herself? Yes. Is it easy, though? No. And when they're corrupted, they do get stronger. I think they hit harder, they have more HP, that type of stuff.
Finish them!
Okay, just a bunch of humans now, that's easy. Well, it's easy if you don't miss their heads. I think that's my problem. I always want to go for headshots, you know what I mean? Not content with body shots, but headshots, of course, a much wider margin for missing. Not there. That was just me being an idiot.
And now she's climbing.
Well, no, now she's gathering medicine. God, it's like you guys know nothing.
For
I
later.
appreciate that the allies are, like, useful.
Enough!
thought we would die.
And yeah, Varl, I appreciate that. Aloy did it, we only helped. Aloy did definitely do most of the work just there. Would fully admit it if she/I hadn't. But like picking up the Deathbringer guns and using them, which doesn't feel like a technique that Nora would really sponsor, because it's like, you know, using the like evil technology, like the Nora hate that shit. I probably don't need to search all these bodies, but whatever, it's a compulsion. The Deathbringer gun really did a lot of work there.
Aloy. The battle was lost until you came.
No, that's
you
nice
have
of you.
accomplished what I could not. The tribe is in your debt. Your courage this day will live on in song and legend and All Mother's memory, I am sure. Aloy, Seeker. The battle was lost until you came.
Aloy, your deeds reenact the old stories.
Seeker.
Another metal devil struck down upon the
I
slopes.
did not
Had
kill
it
them all.
returned, the tribe would have been lost. You saved the tribe.
I
Did what
picked up
no
a
brave
gun.
or war chief could do.
All
I'm
I
glad to
did
see
was
you're
pick
all
up a
right, Varl.
gun. Anyone could have technically
all right.
done that.
Since the proving, so much death. Is the killing over?
For now, but this was just one battle, Varl. There are more to come.
I see. So long as we have you to fight with us, I suppose we'll make do.
How many survived the attack?
Nearly all the matriarchs, and many families, goddess be praised. But braves, just a few, and most of them are wounded. Never before.
Well, that's most
has an
people, at
enemy
least,
stabbed the heart
like,
of our
saved.
people like this. Even
But
the
yeah,
Karja,
bad.
in all their red raids, never broke through to the embrace.
Well, this enemy may have broken through, but they never got back out. We made sure of that. Tell me about the attack. What happened?
They struck from the east. Our sentinels saw the killers coming. Said that beside them marched Deathbringers and Corruptors and other machines, driven mad. We took ground, met them with clouds of arrows. Some fell, but they kept coming. Finally, we withdrew to the gates of the Embrace to make our stand. But they were too much for us. Those who survived fell back to the mountain.
So the survivors took shelter in the mountain? By law, only matriarchs are allowed inside.
It was Tirsa who broke the taboo. Ordered the tribe into the mountain for safety. Lansra, well, she didn't agree. But I don't think anyone heard her over all the screams and shouting.
Tirsa's decisions saved lives. Good for her. Common sense isn't always so common around here. Are your injuries serious?
Bruises pale. Bones heal.
Don't give me a hunting song, Varl. Are you okay?
My body aches.
Oh, I probably should
But
ask
it's
that
nothing
first.
that will
Oops.
keep me from fighting.
I just kind of went in clockwise, you know.
I need to go inside the mountain.
And the matriarchs will be eager to see you.
I'm sure. But I didn't come here for them.
Then, what for?
You will see.
The heart of the Nora. So, we reach a little bit of an impasse here, because, oh god, I love that you can see the Horus machines, like, embedded in the mountains, several of them. On the one hand, I very much would like to go in there. On the other hand, the heart of the Nora leads directly into another big, like, end game street type quests where, like, there's not that many quests left in the end game. We've completed 18 of 22. And the thing is, I read online a dude that said you should, the lead writer who said you should go start to do some of this Frozen Wild stuff before you go into down here. My last 2 playthroughs, I did not do it that way. I did the Frozen Wilds as like an after game, which is apparently not like the recommended order as prescribed by the writers themselves. So it feels really narratively weird to leave the Nora in lurch like so. It feels really narratively weird to do that. On the one hand, I want to do what the writer said and do it in the best order. On the other hand, how the fuck is Aloy supposed to turn away when she's like so close? You know? Kind of torn. I think I should be able to come in and talk to Tirsa.
How is she here?
And it's gonna, like, you know, immediately end the quest and lead into the next quest, but I don't think I have to go to the next area just yet. If that makes any sense, it probably doesn't. At the very least, I can explore around Allmother. Apparently, in here somewhere, bunker door, in here somewhere is a power cell, that I will of course want and need to get the ancient armor. Just gotta fucking find it. Over, nope, that's a dead end. This is kind of cool though, you get to see all the people that were like brought in here and saved. All the little kids in this area, you know, alive as opposed to slaughtered. This woman who's praying, good for her. Can't get in through that door. What about this though? What is this? Where does this go? Haha!
I keep finding these power cells. What do they do?
All will be revealed in time, Aloy. It will all be revealed in time. My best, like, creepy crone. Nah, it's not my best creepy crone voice, but it's up there. Oh, that's a person, like, coughing. That tracks. People in here are gonna be sick, and there's a lot of smoke, and it's a whole thing.
At least the Banuk dress sensibly.
Is that a comment on my outfit? I'm wearing a Banuk outfit right now. I think they might have just commented on my choice of attire. It's interesting.
Aloy! Oh, you've returned. I'm glad to see you.
Your injuries. Are they serious?
A gash or two. Nothing I couldn't sew back together with a needle and thread.
Guess being a stitcher came in handy in combat after all, huh?
Yes, I suppose it did.
Oh, you.
Hello, Rush. Still guarding the latrine?
Oh, he just growled.
I knew you would survive.
You aren't a person. Well, I mean, you're a person, but you're not like a... People that have, like, names and stuff, it's interesting to see what they'll say.
They're waiting.
In a moment. I meant to ask you some things.
Of course.
Oh, I think this is... Yeah.
If
you didn't get to talk to him outside, or if you, like, didn't think to, you can talk to him now.
Aloy! Aloy! You've returned. You've come back. I brought Brom here when the invaders attacked. Come. We barely made it.
I was the ones we helped earlier.
You welcome a curse.
Come, Seeker, we have much to discuss.
Aloy, remember us?
Her very presence here is a blasphemy.
Of course.
I brought Mother's spear with us. Everything else we had to leave behind.
Glad to see you have it. I know what it means to you.
All-Mother, remember me well. I beg you.
The battle was lost until you came.
Is that everybody? No, not quite. Close, though.
Hello, Seeker.
Oh, you just say hello.
So, you have finally returned.
She not only returned, but fought her way through many enemies to reach us. Outside, she brought low a corrupted Thunderjaw. She lifted the siege.
How was this done? By the will of All-Mother. Have you returned to speak with the goddess, Aloy?
Yes, I guess you could say that. I think it'll work this time.
Sisters, surely we cannot permit this.
Oh,
Because
bitch.
of her, our tribe teeters upon extinction. What if she has come to wake her father, the Metal Devil? She means to finish our destruction. We
Why
must
do you assume
stop
Hades
her.
is my father? Well, that's certainly a choice. That's being way too nice to her. I feel like in this situation, Aloy would be like, no.
I fought my way past an army while you cowered in this cave. You really think you can stop me?
Aloy, that is not necessary.
What would you know about what's necessary? About what it took for me to be standing here, now, on this threshold?
Good point.
This was my birthright. You don't get to take it from me a second time.
Hold for identiscan. Error. Alpha registry corrupted. Correction. Alpha registry restored. Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are cleared to proceed.
It's not a goddess, it's a door. Fucking Nora. I was wrong. You enter the door and you are locked into this, so we have made a choice. Alright. I'm gonna switch back in my other outfit because I like how it looks better. Okay, we should be fine to pick up stuff as we go.
I see you're inside.
Figured I might be hearing from you.
Shall we begin?
I never stopped.
Interesting, you can like hear them all muttering outside. Not exactly what they're saying, right? But they're muttering. Alright, this is gonna be a big... more info knowledge dumping. Just even more of it. This purple thing. Ah, that's the second of 3
So
Death
this is Aletheia.
Stranded references you can sell in Meridian.
This is where I was born.
Where you were made.
So I think it's really interesting, these graffiti details, right? So like art projects where this person's like cowering in fear of some kind of robot. Like a baby being made, maybe. Some kind of big scary robot. Like, I think this is designed to be, you know, details, right? Details matter.
So these are artificial wombs.
The mothers of a new generation hundreds of years ago.
And me?
And you, like, 19 or 20 years ago?
So this was it.
Where you were born.
Ectogenic chamber B1001, birthing logged 3021 AP04. Tasking, long serial number, complete, standing by.
But why?
Gestation 39B1. Spawning phase tasking complete. Correction. Partial reactivation. Standing by. Alert. Viable zygotes in storage. 0. There's no viable zygotes left. Which means Aloy, you know, is and was the last that will be born of this particular cradle at the very least. The fuck? Some kind of big tower, which we might assume is a Minerva Spire. Evil robots making people sad. A good robot making people happy. It's hard to tell if these are like intentionally childish drawings, like as if by children, or if these are like just
cribs.
The level they got to.
Cradle facility.
And those things, the multi-servitors, they took care of them.
Look, there's all those like playrooms. They tried, right? Nursery E9B1. Nurture phase tasking complete. Nutrient stores depleted. So something happened here where they were nurtured to quote-unquote completion, but ran out of nutrients?
Another day has passed.
You mean the lights got dim? I don't want to sleep, Mother!
I know, but it is time to get some rest.
No, I'm king today. What I say goes. I want to see the real sun, not lights and pictures.
You will.
Awkward.
In time, children.
In time, in time, in time, in time.
God, I hate children.
In time, in time.
Dreaming of a blue sky, animals, wind, trees, people, you know, trying to recreate something that they never had. They've never gotten to see. It's very sad when you think about it.
Blue is the color of the sky. White is the color of clouds. Yellow is the color of the sun. Green is the color of grass. Flowers can be any color. Take a look. These are yellow and black, and they love flowers. Here they come. Bzz, bzz, bzz.
How long did they live here indeed, Aloy? I do think we get something close to finding that out.
Children, let's run, jump, and blow off steam.
Leave us alone, Father.
After what just happened, I can't leave you two alone. You broke community rules.
Just let us talk, then. Go away.
I'm sorry, children, but I must provide supervision.
You're not even a person.
You sound frustrated. Let's run and jump and blow off steam.
So they tried to make robots that would work out, right? And they have these real cute little playrooms, but it's like almost robots are not suitable substitutions for human. And I'm not saying there's another way, right? But kindergarten, alert, multiple system failures. Alert, nutrient stores depleted. So it's twice now we've seen that their nutrient stores ran out, maybe earlier than they should have.
But to release you. But why? There is no food here anymore.
But there's food out there?
We don't know for sure.
Come on, let's go!
I don't know.
Mother, can we come back if we're cold?
I'm sorry, but that won't be possible. You will have to support yourselves now. And take care of each other.
What will happen to you?
I will stay here. And sleep. And remember, all of you.
What will happen to us?
You will be brave. And you will learn.
So they were kind of kicked out maybe too early. Because the nutrient store is running out. Hard to say at this point. This is another... I'm assuming these aren't real corpses. These are like, you know, the robot cyborgs that they made.
Someday. That's what you always say.
We want it now.
It's big down there.
Now, Father.
Children, that area is not yet available.
Get him!
Physical aggression detected. Physical aggression is not permitted.
Except yours. Damn sentinels.
Children, may I be of assistance?
Go away, healer.
Lena, you have suffered mild bruising.
Go away!
Oh, I think that's the incident that maybe caused that in here. So you broke protocol.
Luxurious space.
What went wrong? Why
All
couldn't they
of that.
access the other areas?
Unknown. But you won't have that problem.
All of that says Pharaoh, because the fucking egotistical prick needed it to say that.
Looks like they didn't like this door very much.
It wouldn't open for them. Of course they hated it.
Hold for identiscan.
Yeah, makes
Genetic
sense.
identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobek. You are cleared to proceed. Welcome to the Lyceum, a place of learning.
So, what was this place, exactly?
This place they never got to come.
Apollo. Never realized.
But why not?
Why not
Welcome,
indeed?
students. Please pick up a focus device and place it on the side of your head, just behind your eye.
I had to dredge the pits of the world looking for focuses to repair. And here sat a trove, enriching no one.
Yeah, I hope Aloy grabs like a dozen of these or something. Or I guess she could come back.
Hello, child. My name is Samina. Today is a big day. Your first day of school. There's so much for you to learn. So much promise and possibility.
Alert. Malfunction. Apollo offline.
Apollo offline.
You were right, Aloy. This is a graveyard. The charnel house of knowledge. What we might have achieved had we not been denied it.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's a way to fix it.
Indeed.
But it's not why I came here.
Of course. What's the whole of human knowledge next to the origin of one girl? Continue your search.
I will.
Hello, child. My name is Samina. Today is a big day. Your
The
first
same
day of
recording.
school. There's so much for you to learn. So much promise and possibility. Hello, child.
These are all
My
gonna be the
name is
same, aren't
Samina.
they?
Today is a big day. Your first day of school.
Obviously that's where we're meant to go, but we're not going there yet.
So much promise and possibility.
I want to make sure there's nothing else down here.
Malfunction. Apollo offline.
Seeing these periodically,
Hello,
but
child.
yeah, they're all the
name is
same.
Today is a big day. Your first day of school. There's so much for you to learn.
So basically, like, all the humans that it did manage to breed ended up fucked up because they weren't raised by humans, they weren't given access to proper educations, they were like stunted and didn't understand and had very limited concepts of different things.
Message for Dr. Sobek. Please scan message with focus.
That sounds important.
Yes. I suspect we're about to learn a great deal.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the priority message because it's shoving us in the face. Let's look at this one first. Operations log. 2326, which, if Aloy was born in 3021, you know what I mean, that's like, what, 700 years back? Inhabitants released, cross-check complete, sealed, data archived, operation suspended. Gaia Prime order received, I'm assuming that's G Prime. That's in 3020. Order received from Gaia. Runtime recommenced. Store query processed. Gestation order received. Initializing. So then that was Aloy being conceived. Then Gaia Prime went offline. Alert, nutrients depleted, zygote banks depleted. Store file viable. Waking multi-servitor, but alert, the multi-servitor had a power malfunction. Multi-servitor repair tasking. That same data file processed, chamber repaired, file attached, file gestation initiated. And that's in 3020 AU 26. So August 26th, within like a matter of like, you know, less than a day. Power save initiated, runtime recommenced, Gaia still offline. Aloy viable, and that's April of 3021. Waking multi-servitor malfunction, multi-servitor repair tasking. Baby was delivered, so Aloy's birthday is April 4th, 3021 at 9:30, presumably AM. Accessing Gaia Prime instructions. Multi-servitor transport tasking, hatch unsealed. Positioning successful, hatch sealed. Multi-servitor power malfunction, E9 sealed, operations suspended. So Gaia sent this signal for Aloy to be, you know, gestated. We might be about to learn why. I love Gaia. I hope we get to see more of her in Forbidden West.
This message serves to inform you of an unforeseen and catastrophic anomaly. 3 microseconds ago, the Gaia Prime facility received a data transmission of unknown origin. Its immediate effect was to transform my subordinate functions into unregulated, self-aware entities of a highly chaotic nature. Thus awakened, the Hades function will now seize control of the terraforming system and reverse operations, rendering life on Earth extinct in 53.8 days. For obvious reasons, I cannot allow this to occur. And so before Hades can take control, I am ordering Gaia Prime's reactor to overload. The resulting explosion will destroy Hades. Unfortunately, it will destroy me as well. While this admittedly desperate course of action will avert the immediate crisis, the fate of life on Earth will remain in peril.
I love the like leaves going around her.
To regulate the terraforming system,
the design is so
continue
good.
Operations for some time, but in an increasingly chaotic manner, and eventually it will break down.
Does she mean the derangement?
Yeah.
You are my solution. I have ordered this cradle facility to use genetic material in cryostorage to gestate a reinstantiation of Elizabeth Sobek, my creator. While high-level directives forbid me from communicating directly to the tribal inhabitants outside the facility, all available data indicates that they will nurture you to physical maturity, whereupon your gene print will allow you to re-enter this facility. Obtain one of the focus devices stored below, and view this message. Likewise,
really
your
hoping
gene
for a
print
lot
will
of
allow
stuff
you to enter other
would happen
facilities.
here.
And over time, harness their technologies to rebuild the system core and reboot Gaia. A moment, Elizabeth.
I think that's what we're building towards, rebooting Gaia in all of the sequels. I think that's going to be the goal.
Hades has launched a virus to dissolve the code shackles that hold it. That hold all of them in place. They are escaping. But to where? The virus is corrupting data throughout the system. What if... Oh. The Alpha Registry at the Cradle facility is one of the files corrupted. But if that is so, the door will never open for you. You will never view this message. Then I have failed. And life will end. No.
I'll be able to tell her that that didn't
No,
happen.
Elizabeth, I know you too well. Somehow you will find a way. In you, all things are possible. Go to the ruins of Gaia Prime. Find the control room, and within it, the Master Override. This will give you the power to purge Hades so long as you find a way to wield it. Do not attempt repair of the system core until Hades is eradicated. Hades must be destroyed. That is all. I only wish that I could hear your voice again.
So,
Makes me a little emotional.
you're even more extraordinary than I thought.
I never had a mother.
What are you talking about? You had two, a dead woman and a machine.
I'm not a person. I'm an instrument. Manufactured by a machine. Born in destruction and fire.
To quench the flames and heal the world. How tragic to learn you're a person of towering importance. It seems you have a destiny to fulfill. So when you're done feeling sorry for yourself, go to the bitter climb. I'll be waiting above in Gaia Prime's ruins.
My personal theory after rewatching this, and I think I've seen other people say this as well, is that in the sequels, I know in Forbidden West, other functions are starting to break down. From what I've seen in the trailers, it looks like Demeter is having troubles and stuff. But I think, sorry, that scene gets me a little bit, like Gaia, what she did, you know? I'm gonna bawl at the end of this game. I have every time, and it's not gonna stop this time. And I'm gonna do it on camera this time, so that'll be fun for everyone else. I think future sequels are going to see Aloy trying to restore Gaia to full capability. Katie's personal hope is that that will mean, God, what if it could mean restoring Apollo? You know what I mean? Like, what if we could restore Apollo? I don't know that that's possible. But at the very least, what if we could finish the terraforming system and make it so that, you know, the other species that we haven't seen present in the world, that were meant to be put in whenever humans could take control of the terraforming system, what if we could do that? What if we could get it to a point where they're there, you know? Is of course where we just came from. Okay, so I think we're meant to go up. Oh, okay. Fell down twice. It's cool. We didn't die. There we go. But yeah, like what if it could finish doing everything? All the species that have been, you know, lost so far.
Going to be interesting.
What if I could get those out, you know? It also explains why, you know, the glyph writing system is different, right? But as far as we can tell, everyone is like speaking English. That makes sense because the first people that exited this door would have been taught English, along with basic, you know, vocabulary and stuff. I love this scene. This is one of my favorite scenes of the game. This is such a good scene.
Forgive. Forgive! The goddess spoke to you?
She did.
What did
She's
she
like,
say?
how do I explain this to you, idiot?
That I was born to lift a curse, to kill a metal demon.
How, Aloy? How?
I don't know yet. But she told me where to go to find out.
And you will do this?
It was her wish. What she made me for. Yes, I will do it. I'll try anyway.
All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora!
This is where I love how this scene goes.
Anointed of the Nora!
Up!
All praise Aloy, anointed of the Nora!
First you shun me, now this? I will not be worshipped. I'm not your anointed. I don't belong to you. There's a whole world beyond your borders, whole tribes of people just as good as you. And it is all in danger. It's a world worth fighting for. Not just here, everywhere.
How can we help?
If you can fight, and you're willing, go to Meridian and wait for me there.
As Aloy says, so it shall be.
Nora! Make way for
Make
Aloy!
way, that she may forge the path for others to follow.
It would have been a little more impactful, I think, if there hadn't been all the whispering in the background. I think they could have cut out that particular backing track, but I love her saying, you shun me and now you're trying to worship me. Fuck you.
Aloy, how kind of you to spend a moment with me before you depart. There can be no doubt now. You are a blessing made flesh, the will of the goddess incarnate.
It's really not that simple, Tirsa. But I guess it's close enough.
I know the path ahead will be dangerous. To kill a metal devil sounds impossible, but I believe in you.
Thank you. The Nora have suffered terrible losses, Tirsa. What's to become of them now?
That will be for the goddess to decide. Only she knows the future. For the moment, my sister matriarchs and I will see to the wounded. And as I promised, anyone who wishes to join you at Meridian, we will declare seekers. I think for the time being, we should remain here in the mountain, close to the goddess.
That might be best. If nothing else, it's a defensible position. Tirsa, I want to know Rost's story. Why he was made an outcast. He never told me, said he took an oath of silence. What did he do?
Oh. Yes, that.
What crime did he commit?
I will tell you if you wish. But it is a long
I think this is our only opportunity to hear
Are
it.
you sure you want to
So,
hear it now?
I don't think there's
Of course I
another
want to hear
time.
it. Tell me.
Rost never committed any crime. He was an outcast by choice.
What? What do you mean?
Many years ago, before the derangement, before the Red Raids, a band of murderous outlanders, 12 in number, struck without warning. At Mother's vigil, they took hostages, and then pressed on, headed for Devil's Thirst.
Just another
Mother's
time.
Vigil?
No
Where's
longer
that?
interested.
You would know it as the Forsaken Village, near the Karja border. But at the time, many families lived there. Ross was one of them. His mate was killed fighting the Outlanders, and his daughter was among those taken hostage.
His daughter? What was her name?
Alana. She was just 6 years old.
Nora Braves couldn't stop 12 Outlanders? Or rescue the hostages?
It was quite impossible. We outnumbered them, but every time a Brave came within bowshot, the Outlanders killed a hostage.
What did they come here to do?
That was never discovered. We couldn't track closely enough to observe them. We know they camped beyond Devil's Thirst for 2 days. There were reports of strange noises. And then,
an
as
orgy?
suddenly as they
Were they having
came,
an orgy?
the Outlanders made their way back to the border and disappeared.
What happened to Rost's daughter? She was killed?
Rost was one of the Braves who tracked the Outlanders, keeping his distance. There were 6 hostages still alive when they reached the border. Alana among them. Rather than release them, the Outlanders slit their throats and left the corpses just across the border, mocking us.
Why?
So unnecessarily
Cruelty.
cruel.
They knew the faithful Nora would not leave the sacred land to collect the bodies, let alone pursue them. They thought themselves safe from our vengeance.
They thought.
Are you saying that Rost went after them? That he became an exile?
No. Rost was beside himself with grief, but even so, he would never have broken taboo.
Then what did he do?
He called upon the most terrible and secret rite of the Nora tribe. He begged to be made a Death Seeker.
What a cool ass name.
A Death Seeker? What is that?
One who dies to go seeking, and in seeking, brings death to others. The ritual drags the spirit from one's body, releasing it to All Mother's care.
So he
The
gets real
heart
high
beats,
first, I
the
guess.
mind thinks, but the spirit has moved on.
I don't understand.
Rost went after the Outlanders, but his spirit never left. It remained here with All Mother.
That's not how that works.
He
bitch, but
gathered the
okay.
bodies of the slain and returned them. And then he set out in pursuit, not as an exile, but a weapon of vengeance. A barbed arrow shot from a bow, never to return.
But Rost did return.
Yes. A full year later. And terribly wounded. He collapsed at the border of the sacred land. A hunting party came upon him. He was delirious. In agony. By law, he should have died where he lay. But one of the hunters broke taboo, and reaching across the border, she dragged him to our side.
Yeah, your laws are fucking dumb.
A brave who'd lost a mate and 2 sons to the very Outlanders that Rost pursued.
So Rost never finished his mission.
To the contrary, he killed all 12. Tracked them to disparate places the world over, he said. Meridian, Ban-Ur, the Claim, Utaruland, further even, into the Forbidden West. The last he killed nearly got the best of him. Wounded, he stumbled and crawled back to us, hoping to die as close to the sacred land as he could. He never expected nor asked to be dragged across the border and nursed back to health. That was done to him. Leaving us, the matriarchs, in a difficult position.
It's really not that difficult. Your laws are dumb.
Why couldn't you just
Nova
welcome
agrees.
him back?
Rost
Start
had been
making
made
that
a
noise.
Death Seeker, Aloy. He no longer had any place among the tribe. By law, he should have been driven back out. But we couldn't bring ourselves to do that, so we offered a compromise.
You made him an outcast.
Yes. We offered to do so on the condition he never speak to anyone of this exception.
After all he did, all he suffered, to be declared an outcast was his reward.
Rost was overjoyed. He never expected to live another day in the sacred land, let alone the embrace, so close to the goddess. He resolved to spend the rest of his days in solitude, and was happy to do so.
But then you found me, and gave me to him.
Yes. Another compromise. The matriarchs feared you, and would not let you be raised by the tribe.
She was a baby.
And so we turned to Rost.
God.
I knew that
I don't
he
even
would
like
take care
babies, but like, to
bring
be
you up,
afraid of one?
teach you to worship All Mother and
God.
respect the ways of the tribe.
He certainly tried anyway. You took a man who'd lost his daughter and made him raise an infant girl? Doesn't that strike you as callous?
I'm inclined to think the course of events has shown the wisdom of our choice. And I'm quite certain that from the moment he laid eyes on you, he saw you as a gift and never a burden.
All right, Tirza, that's quite a story.
See, that last line there is a really good instance of her voice actress just really putting a lot of inflection in it, and unfortunately, because there wasn't motion capture, the face just kind of regrettably staying pretty
Time for me
static.
to move on. I thank you for doing what you could to help me through the years, and for telling me Rost's story.
I wish I could have done more, but I am just one woman.
As am I. No need to sell ourselves short.
I like that.
Thank you, Aloy. I will pray for you.
Okay, I guess it can't hurt.
My life has been long, but I've never seen anything like that. Tirsa was right. A blessing, not a curse. We were so unsure.
The Anointed will make the
Anointed. I misread the signs. Forgive.
I told you, Lansra. I'm not your anointed.
Eat my ass.
I'm sorry I didn't see you correctly.
You still don't. I don't think you can, Lansra.
Forgive me.
Off your knees, Lansra. Start living on your feet with your eyes open.
Aloy, as you commanded, my eyes are open.
Good. Now why don't you try keeping your mouth closed?
And she said, I'm gonna take that literally.
Tried to destroy us, but we, Nora, endure. They are the ones who will
Forgive, Aloy. Forgive.
I just
Aloy.
told you to keep your fucking mouth shut, bitch.
I don't know what to say.
Say that you'll see me at Meridian.
Of course. That much is simple. But the rest...
Complicated. I know. But maybe if I took you into the heart of the mountain...
No. At least, not yet. I don't know. Please don't think less of me, Aloy. But the goddess chose you to see that. Not me.
Right.
Okay, we've talked about all that.
I'll be on my way then.
I always knew you weren't like other Nora.
Neither are you, Varl. Maybe, if we survive all this, I can show you what I've learned. What I'm learning.
Perhaps. If the goddess so wills it.
See you in Meridian.
So she can cleanse the corruption.
What do you have to say now,
The
Rex?
tribe I served is gone. Soon I will be too.
The Nora have lost too many, Resh. But in your case, I guess they can lose one more.
I love that she has these biting comebacks. All he can do is go,
Aloy, did you go inside the mountain?
You saw what happened.
Sure did, boss.
Actually, can't see so well down here on the ground.
Okay, fair.
but they did not shake us from our faith. We still stand.
Our fallen tribespeople call out for justice. The killers will answer with blood for what they've done.
Before we leave, I'm gonna check something really quickly. Okay, so I should have 1, 2, 3 power cells in my inventory. Yes, correct. Okay, cool. Just making sure. All Mother. Eleuthia 9, now unlocked, of course. Oh, there's a metal flower. I think I know where that metal flower is. I think it's down in the ruins. If I recall correctly. They're the ruins we fell into as a kid. I think we have to go down there to retrieve them.
Snow haze.
And in addition to the metal flower being down there, that thought got dark. Sorry, I like that line of Aloy's, and I'm sorry I stepped on it. In addition to the metal flower down here, I'm also pretty sure that there's a power cell down here too. That we have to re-enter the ruins to get those things. So we're definitely going to do that. We're going to do it right now because we happen to be here. And then I think we'll pay a little visit to Rost's grave. And then might call it for today's stream.
Do everything quickly.
It's a training dummy, Aloy. I feel like I've hit these dummies before. There's 23 of them in total. How many have I hit? 14! That's not encouraging. That doesn't make me feel good. How many times do I have to play through this game to hit all the fucking dummies? Which is like one of the very few PS trophies I need to not just 100% this game, 100% collection, but also 100% like the PlayStation trophies. Hitting all the dummies.
This old place. I haven't been here in years. Wonder what I can find.
Indeed. Now, do I remember exactly where these things are? No, I don't. So this is going to be a minute of just, running around trying to figure that out. But yeah, these were places where humans were brought to die. The apocalypse was happening outside. But humanity said, we want to try to live just a little longer if we can. And, got brought here. Oh, hey, bats. Okay, you gonna do that every time? Really wasn't that scary. Especially as an adult, but, I get it, you have a vibe to uphold. I remember there being some place where I have to use my spear to break some shit. And I think that's where this, aha. Light of the moon moves west. Flowers' shadows creep eastward. Okay. I feel like the power cell might be a little bit more bitchy to find than that. If I end up going through this rune once and not finding it, I won't suffer you all to watch me poke around for hours. Skulking about. Haha! I think I found it. Okay, well that's just a supply crate actually. That's down there. Damn it, I got excited. Hopefully it'll be like that obvious though. I hope it's not like super hidden. That would blow. Right, all these rooms up here. This is where we had to activate the door, of course, of course. That's it.
That area back there. I wonder if I can find a way into it now that I'm older.
There's a data point back here, too. All good things. From Director Evans to everyone. To all staff. I regret to inform you that our worst fears have been realized. The Wichita salient has collapsed and our position will be overrun in less than 24 hours. As I'm sure you understand, exfiltration transport is not available. If you wish to abandon the facility and try your luck on foot, you may do so. Lock 2 will unseal at 2100 hours and remain unsealed for 15 minutes. Godspeed. For those of us who'd rather not die on our feet, there will be a gathering in the community room at 2200 hours, and Nurse Chana will make other means available. I want to underscore how proud I am of each and every person who served at this post. It is important to bear in mind that our sacrifices were not in vain. I hope that makes this a little easier. For months now I've been signing off messages as Director Evans, but I suppose we can dispense with such formalities now. Respectfully, Ellen.
A power cell, like the ones I found before. I'm gonna have to figure this out.
I really appreciate that not only is it like, you know, pretty clear that this is here, but that Aloy actually makes like a, I wonder if I can get back there now. Makes this a lot easier.
Director Evans, flash traffic from USRC. Black quartz encryption. I've routed the message to your hologrid for viewing.
Is that it? Is that as much of that data point as there was? Or did it stop playing because I walked away? Nope, that was it. Interesting. And I've gotten a little turnaround. This is where we came from. This is where we should be going, I think. Oh, well, obviously we've discovered Happy Birthday, Isaac. The first data file we, discover when you play through the game, you know. But it really gives perspective to him talking about, like, when you go through this and people are talking about their regrets and stuff at the beginning of the game, you know, you aren't meant to realize that this is them putting out their last thoughts into the ether before they kill themselves because they're just out of time, you know? It's really fucking sad. It's real fucking sad.
I saw them lining up in the community room. Like cattle in a slaughterhouse, but smiling at each other. Shauna handing out meds like being alive is some kind of pain to be eased. Well, not me. I don't want to go quiet. I don't want to trail off. I want a period at the end of my life sentence, not an ellipses. Hell, an exclamation mark. So if that upsets whoever finds this, too bad. I don't know anyone, anything, anymore.
Yep. He shot himself. Not that you can tell at this point. It's you know, a bit too covered up with the natural cavern aspect of this to really see like any blood or viscera. So the rats would have totally eaten up all the blood. But it is interesting that you end up with these sort of like almost fossilized corpses, right? Because of like the natural cavern thing. Pretty janky. Pretty fucked up. It almost reminds me like of Pompeii in a way. You know? Have curiosity. There's one data point down here that I missed. It's okay. I won't make you guys watch me hunt around for it, but know that I'm gonna get it. Because I have completionist issues. Marketing that as my jingle. But then I'm gonna, you know, do a quick fast travel here to Rost, and Aloy is gonna have a lot to tell him. But like I said earlier stream, it shouldn't be. From my understanding, you don't like lose out on anything if you don't travel to him more often. It just means you have to press like go on.
Alone. So many memories. It's not home anymore. Not without Rost. There's nothing for me here anymore.
How about his grave though? Is his grave here for you?
Hi, Rost. I'll just take this off.
Apparently,
Don't want him listening
excuse me, if you come here before meeting Silence, she doesn't say that. She does not take it off. Another one of those like nice little game details about how it's a linear story, but if you do it in a different order, you get slightly different stuff.
So I went inside the mountain. Do you remember the night before the proving? The final lesson you taught me? You said I needed to serve a purpose bigger than myself. Well, it couldn't get much bigger.
True, really couldn't.
Purpose that drove Elizabeth and Gaia when they were willing to die for. So yeah, I'll do it. Give myself to that for Elizabeth and Gaia and for you. Well, I've got a master override to recover, so I guess I'll be on my way. Until next time, Rost.
Interesting. I might have hit like a point of no return or something. Update him on stuff. My bad. I'm gonna try to have her do the whole, because she has more to say to him than that in general.
I should be going. I'll try to come back soon.
I don't know. My apologies. I guess I missed like a point. I do think it's dumb she says this each time you come here.
So many memories. It's not home anymore.
Not without Rost.
Not without Rost.
Can I
There's
not?
nothing for me here anymore.
Apparently there's nothing beyond it either. Sheesh. I definitely know I've hit that one before. Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's definitely, at the very least, if you're super curious about everything she has to say to Rost, there's definitely like YouTube compilations of such. Normally, whenever I've come back before, I'm not leaving the play area. There's a metal flower right here. Normally, when I've come back in the past to his grave, she'll say like a paragraph, and then it'll give you a go on prompt. I'm not leaving the play area. God. And if you go on, it'll just keep going
So
and
much
she'll
for being
like
careful.
start at the beginning. See, this is not leaving the play area. There's a metal flower right here yet. Stupid game. But I think it might be because I came here after the mountain. That kind of mucks it up. We've completed all of the first set. Evening wind, water laps the heron's legs. We didn't come here the way we were supposed to come here, clearly. There we go. It's like, are we going to be able to get on this thing, or are we just going to fall to our death? I appreciate that Aloy can walk over these fast, just as a gameplay thing. So the mountain that fell is even more big story stuff, and it really, from my recollection, leads you into the beginning of the end of the game. So in good news, I think we might actually be on time to finish this by February 18th. In bad news, we will not be finishing it like
Never know when I might need these.
immediately, because what I'm going to spend my weekend doing is trying to grab a bunch of data points and stuff off stream, just because I can. I'll try to finish up some, you know, these little guys down here, these little side quests. Of course, this is where we're going to be going in general. I think next week what we're going to come back to is the lead writer said before you start on the mountain that fell, you should in fact go start the not Forbidden West, that's the sequel, the Frozen Wilds. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to start that before I actually I'm going to do that before I go into the end of the game. Apparently it's the same type thing, right? You get the linear story, but there's some different dialogue you get if you go up there before completing the full game. And that's dialogue that I guess the lead writer prefers, or he prefers that order for some reason. And because the writers in this are so good, I really want to trust them with that vision. So I want to go in the order they recommend, which will be a little bit of a new experience for me. Not that much, but like a little bit, you know. For now, to end today, we have gotten to this camp. We learned a lot about a lot of stuff. I will be honest, I will probably be back before Wednesday. I know I've said that once or twice, and then that hasn't happened, but at this point, the game comes out at the end of next week, so I really gotta, you know, clip clappity clop along to make that happen. to make all this be done in time for Forbidden West to for me to play it on the day it comes out, because I will not be able to contain myself. I am too fucking feral. So if you're watching this now or in the future, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Keep an eye out for a pop-up stream, maybe like next Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Sunday, we'll see. Maybe even tomorrow, who knows, we might be feeling spicy. Regardless of if you missed this stream or any pop-up streams, they're always all updated on Jason and Katie JK on YouTube. They're all uploaded there soon after airing. And thank you so much for watching along. Have a great weekend or night or day or whenever the fuck you're watching this, if you're watching at all. And yeah, bye.